August 24th, first day of class, day class, orientation. I've put up here all the information for you on me, contact information. I prefer emails, but if it's something to do with class or anything going on like that, please text me. Okay, I want to communicate with everyone very closely, so texting is perfectly okay. And I want you to look for my text, because if anything comes up, like assignments or anything, if we change anything, I'll send you an email, but I'll also send you a text, so you'll know right away. Now, to make it official here at the school, we have to go in through your student email address. Okay, so if, like when you were looking at your application status, you went in there to see what all that was, and they sent you an email. So if it's official, that's where it's going to be. So I do recommend you look at that email a couple of times a week, just to see what's in there. Okay. If it's something official, I will send one there and also to your personal one. I know some people link them, but some people can't. So I'll always do it through the one you look at every day that I know you're going to look at, and that's your personal one. But just remember, you should be looking at your Broward one too a couple of times a week. Okay? So here's my cell phone, and this is my email address. These are the classes you're taking this term. It seems like a lot, but this one's only 15 hours. This one's only 15 hours. Okay? Combination, it's a little over 300 hours. Now, on your schedule, we have to put the classes in there in a way that the computer will accept them. That doesn't mean we're going to do it like that in here, okay? Because like Tuesday, you only come for what, 2 hours according to the schedule? Some ridiculous thing like that. No, we're going to even it out across the week, and just think you're going to be here from 10 to 3 every day and plan accordingly, okay?
Friday as well.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Friday. Now, this term, Friday is an open day. Believe me, you're going to need to practice, and that's what that day is for. Now, if you miss any class, you have to make the time up, because this is a clock hour class, and that's the time to do it. You have a doctor's appointment, anything you have to do, try to get it done on Friday, okay? On Friday. Now, next term, you will have class on that day. It'll be scheduled. That's when you're going to do your clinicals. That's when you work with the public. So don't go get a job on Friday thinking, well, I'm free, because you're not. You're not, really not free. And I could have charged you for that day, but I didn't. You get it for free. Okay, but just plan Monday to Friday, 10 to 3. That's basically what we're going to do. For both terms, like throughout the program. Does everyone have their student ID card? Y'all got your student ID card. If you have a car, have you gotten your parking permit? All right, we'll take some time at the end of the day. We'll go out early just so you can get that done. The first few days of class are not that strict, but once things get rolling, they will give you a ticket if you don't have your parking decal on there. And for just about everything you do on the campus, you need your student ID card. In the library, we have a section there, they changed the name, let's see. Student Academic Success Center. It used to be Learning. Academic Success Center. When you come into the library, which is right across the street from our building, you'll see on your left the checkout, and then there's a little desk, and I think they have that written over the wall. That is for studying. You can get together as a group. You can even hire a mentor to come in individually or as a group to meet with you there. They've got, it's not the best in the world, but at least it's there. There's a little thing in there for anatomy, where they've got the different body systems set up, like with the muscles, they got the little rubber muscle things that you can look at. And all these little computer things there that you can learn the different systems with. It's a backup for what you're doing in here. Just a little extra help. Okay? We're the only program that does this, so please don't go telling everybody that you get to take money, you get to take books out of the resources, because resources are usually for use right there. You cannot check them out. Ours, you can. So I've got a couple of hundred DVDs over there for you on different subjects. If you know of a subject that you would like for us to put in there, let me know and I'll buy it. One of the benefits of being an alumni here is you get to go and check things out 10 years from now. What you have to do now is check out at least a couple of things so that they have your student ID number in their file. Then when you come back and you want to check something out after you graduate, they can look you up and see that your student ID number there, and then you can check it out, okay? You will also be able to get free massages by being an alumni. Because the clinic, I try to get the main people you're going to work on is the staff of the college, but massage therapists. So I go to a couple of little organizations and I tell them about the clinic and the past grads and everybody. So who could give you feedback better than another massage therapist? Okay, so that's what we're going to do. But you can come back 10 years from now and get a free massage if you want. We have the night class and the day class. So this term, the night class is doing their clinicals. You'll do yours in the next term.
How often? I'm just curious. How
That's okay.
often would we get the free massages for?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, how often could we come in? Like, is it
Every week.
Is it like we can come in numerous times throughout the week?
We only have clinic on Fridays in the day.
Oh, right.
And we have clinic at night on Wednesday and Thursday because they only do 1 hour. The night class is from 6 to 10. And most people will do the first hour, but very few people will come back over here like at 8 o'clock at night to get a massage. They just won't. So we stretch it out. And the day is only on Fridays. Now, nothing is written in stone in here. I just want you to get that in your little head. If you think we're deviating off the schedule, well, yeah, we are, and it's okay. It's okay. If we need extra time on a body system, we'll take extra time on the body system. If we need more time with a particular, like you're draping, you can't get it, and we need more time on it, that's okay. We'll take it. And it may not be in the order that you see on, I'm going to give you a daily schedule, but we will get to it. It's just better to do it where it's mixed up, you know. But I also do things, I want you to call me coach, because that's what I am. I'm not going to teach you how to do things my way and hope you can practice it just like I do it, and then I'll give you a grade. No. You're going to learn the basics just like a coach would take everyone, and you're in tryouts, right? You're new, so you're in tryouts. You're training for tryouts. And try to develop your skill. That is the beauty of massage. I don't know if you know this, but there's probably 300 different types or ways to do massage. You can be very specific, and you only want to work with infants. You want to do infant massage. You only want to work with pregnant ladies. You only want to work with elderly. You only want to work with athletes and children athletes. There's a pediatric massage certificate you can get. Or you want to just work in sports massage. You don't want to do anything else but sports massage. Or you want to mix it up. You know, you want to work in a spa. Or you don't want to do anything heavy. You're going to do Reiki and all that, you know, touchy-feely, just a little bit of pressure stuff. There's a niche for you. And just about anything you might want to do, there's a niche. It's a very broad field. You get tired of doing this, you know, you can start doing that instead. You don't like this place to work, you move and go to that place to work. Work in spas, work in rehabs, go on cruise ships, whatever you want to do, there's variety, you know. If you are a radiation tech, what are you going to be doing 20 years from now? The same thing. Stand against the wall, turn, hold your breath, click. 20 years from now, that's what you're going to be doing. So the ACS is for your benefit. You have to have that student ID card, though, to get in there. Now, they numbered them and put a little list together, but they don't really know what they're doing, so you can ask them to go back there. It's right behind the desk, and you can pick something out. But like I said, I need more information. I need more DVDs. I'm buying some more, but if there's something you want, let me know. Maybe a person that's doing this that you want to see what they're doing, or a particular style that you want more information on. And there's anatomy too, so it's not just modalities. There's anatomy tapes over there. Really interesting stuff. So that's for your edification, okay? That's in there for you. And another good thing about being here is you have departments outside of the massage department that can assist you. We have a business department who will help you write resumes, they'll help you interview, They post jobs all the time. I get the jobs too, but we put it with them, and then you can just access the website. They're for our graduates, so there's a little code thing you have to put in. So not everybody is going to look on there and see the jobs that are being offered to our grads. I've got a really good reputation in the neighborhood, Palm Beach and Broward, and I get a lot of calls. People call me first to say there's something open because they know what they're getting. You know, it's not a mystery. They pretty much know what they're going to get. Now, I will do reference letters for you, but I don't have to. So you don't show up, you don't pay attention, you never can answer a question, you don't get along with everyone. Am I going to give you a reference? Don't even ask. If they call me, I have to be very, very, you know, I can't really say a lot about you legally. I can just say, well, they were here. And if I say they were here that way, what is the person on the other end going to think? Well, they weren't here that very much, right? Because I didn't say they came every day. So, and I will tell you one thing. I've worked, my first job, I graduated in '93, was at PGA. Where I went to school was called Alpha Institute, and they had a clinic, and people from all around the community would come in, and the spa director came in, and she hired me out of school. Do you know why? Because when that clinic was open, I was in there working. They had to kick me out. Everybody else says, oh God, I have to go in and do the clinical thing. Well, that's what you're here for, right? Oh, it's Friday? That's just practice day. I don't have to go. Is that attitude going to get you anywhere? No, it won't. And trust me, it happens. Oh, we're doing hydro, but it's just we've already practiced that. I'm not going to go. You can't do that, all right? You can't do that. You don't have enough time. The program should be longer. You should have more time, not less, to learn this stuff, okay? To learn it, you really do. I will come in and do extra class time with you if you'd like, if you feel that you really aren't getting it. Because most people, it's not that they can't do it, it just takes a little longer to get it. That's all. Everybody learns at a different pace. And if you feel you need that, come to me and we'll work it out. We'll work it out. We could do an extra anatomy day with the whole class, just whatever is going to help you succeed. That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm coach. You are going to go for the gold. So please get in touch with me. Now, we're going to mix this up a little bit. Like I said, we just put it in the computer because that's the way it went in. You don't want to do a class for 1 hour every day, class time, for 16 weeks. What in the heck can you learn that way? No. So we're going to kind of do this together all at one time and get it over with. It's, well, it's 16 and a half hours. Now, you don't have any books for this one. This is all based on law and ethics. There's a chapter in another book that you use for this course that you're going to use for this. Okay? I usually make copies for you, but we're like on an extremely tight budget. I will try to, but if I can't, what you need to do is go on the website for the Florida Board of Massage. One of the links on there is rules and laws or rules and regulations or something like that. You'll click on that, and then you can get the statutes that we're going to be following. Now, you can print them out if you want, or you just study with your phone or your computer and keep it as a digital copy. It's kind of up to you. When we're in here talking about it, I'll have it projected. But for me, I don't know about you, I like a piece of paper that I can flip back and forth through, and I can study anytime, anywhere. I don't have to have my computer with me. Okay? But it's the Florida statutes. Now, other things like ethics and that kind of stuff is going to come from your fundamentals book, which is the book that's required for this course. So you don't have to buy a book for this course. Okay? There's a lady, Sherry Moe or something like that, that's all she does is business stuff for the massage therapy industry. And you can get some of her newsletters, which are free, or some of her books if you want to go more in depth with that. This is only going to have a take-home test with it, just one test at the end, because you're always going to have to refresh your memory for this. What you have to do as a licensed therapist is take 24 hours of what we call continuing education units. Every 2 years, you have to renew your license. You have to have studied for 24 hours within that 2-year period. So they're not asking a whole lot of you, 1 hour a month. It's not a whole lot. And part of that is keeping up with the law. So you'll have to do a 2 hours law class. There'll never come a time when you have to have that stored in your little memory pack. You can always refresh your memory and look it up. So we're not doing a test in here that, it's a take-home test. Okay? A little bit about what the board does when they meet. If you want to go to a board meeting, you can. Usually they're in Orlando. Every now and then they come down here. Now you can get credit towards your license renewal by going. They'll give you 4 hours as considered law, whatever. You sign in, you sign out, you go. But keep up with what's going on, because there may be a subject that is near and dear to your heart, and you might want to go in there and give them some of your feedback on what they do. Just participate, okay? It's a good thing to do. You'll be bored to death, but it's a good thing to do. Now, 150 is anatomy, A and P. I have asked you to get a book. Now, we'll talk a little bit about, they have divided up your credentialing, all right? Credentials don't have anything to do with licensing. The test that we take here in Florida is by an organization called the Federation of State Massage Therapy Boards. All this is in your manual, okay? You could take that test right now if you want. You don't have to be a graduate of a school. I had a guy in the last class who had helped his girlfriend 2 years ago. He took the test with her and he passed it. He used that score to get his license now. And he wasn't even in massage school at all. It's $195 for the test, but you can take it anytime you want, okay? I prefer you study for it first, but if you already feel you got a handle on it, that's fine. They're really focused on basic, simple stuff, but a lot of it is anatomy. I think 14% of the test is going to be anatomy. Now, there's another organization that up until maybe 2 years ago was also able to give you a licensing exam, but they are no longer able to do that. What they have done, first they got kicked out, and I can tell you all about it if you want to hear it. Not a good idea to have a monopoly. They had a monopoly and they got kicked out. So now they're just doing higher certification. So if you want to feel, that, and they call it a board certification. That's the name they picked out for their business. It's got nothing to do with the board, okay? It's a private company. The Federation, on the other hand, is the government agencies of all the states in Florida, in America. And now their exams they give, if you want to do that advanced certification, they're all based on this book. This is kind of like the definitive book for massage therapy. Because we're a technical program, I'm going to gear everything that we do in here towards your profession. So you get general information, but it's really as it applies to what you do. His book has taken anatomy and applied it to what we do. How does this affect you? I touch you, how does this affect what the systems are, right? And if you know anything about fascia, anybody know anything about fascia in here? The connective tissue of the body? It's the part that everybody used to throw away. Get it out, get it off that muscle. I got to look at the muscle. Well, it's the most important part of your entire body. And now they're realizing that. And now we're beginning to study it. He is explaining all about everything through the fascia of your system and the energy of your system. So it's a great book. It's a little hard to wade through at first, and he's very flowery, but he's a wealth of information, an absolute wealth of information. It's not color. You're going to get black and white pictures. I'm sorry, black and white pictures. Very simple drawings, but it's very accurate. He's very, very accurate. You can get this used. I don't care where you get it, but you need the 3rd edition. If you have gotten an older one that's not the 3rd edition, you already paid for it, let me see, because there have been changes. There have been. He hasn't changed this book in a long, long time, and when he did change it, it was, a lot more information and a little different focus. So it's not like, books, we're at the mercy of the publishers. They come up with a 3rd edition, then the next year a 2nd. They do that, not us. Not the teacher saying, please, I need a new edition. They decide when they're going to get more money out of you. I have a legal assistant degree, and I had to buy law books, you know, which are hundreds of dollars. And the other edition, there's maybe like 3 sentences they changed. But I had to buy it because that was the required book. So, but this is really, really, really good. And I'll show you a website you can join if you want. It's like a library, and we'll do this in class. He has put some lectures up through this video place where you can actually hear him talk about what he's written about in here, which is really, really interesting. He is a Traeger therapist. Anybody know what that is? Dr. Milton Traeger. Very interesting man. At 45, he decided he wanted to be a doctor. And he went around to all the schools in America, and they said, "You're too old. You start now, you're too old." So he went to Mexico, and he got his license, and he came back to California. He was a very successful doctor. But he was a hands-on person before he became a doctor. And he didn't stop doing it. He stayed a doctor, but most of his work was manual. And his whole routine that he does is based on the inner ear, the balance in the inner ear and the fluids of the body, and making them rock to put the body back in balance. So all of his work is shaking and rocking. And he does something called mentastics, which kind of you're not supposed to do, but because he's a doctor, he could get away with it. Ways he would talk to you as he moved you to change how you thought, your thought processes. Now, if you want to do that part of it, you have to work under a doctor. The doctor doesn't have to be in your office. He just says she knows how to do it. And then if anything happens, he's in trouble, not you. But it's very interesting stuff. I mean, I love Traeger. I always think you need to include rocking and shaking in your massage, even if you're doing Swedish, right? The minute you put your hands on them, they should start rocking. And you keep them going the whole time. What is the rhythm, do you think, you have to rock them at? The rhythm that governs everything else in the body. The heartbeat, which is what? Average. 60 beats a minute. So when you start off, you could be counting in your head 1,000, 2,000. But that's the rhythm you need to put into that body to calm them down. And then all of their systems that are out of balance will resync with that rhythm. It's called entrainment. Entrainment. That's a big thing about what we want to do with the person's body, is bring all those out of whack systems back into the rhythm they should have. And it's all anchored through the heartbeat, okay? So this is your anatomy book. Now, along with this, there are probably 30,000 websites that you can go to study anatomy. There are probably just as many YouTube videos that you can study on anatomy. Pick and choose between them. I don't want you to be stuck with one thing because everybody learns differently. You like this person, it really resonates with you, but you don't, so you look at someone else. But there is one that I want you to do kind of, sort of mainly, because it's free. And if you don't mind looking at ads, it's free. It's called InnerBody.com. Very comprehensive anatomy. Every system, every physiological function, all the muscles, everything like that is on that website. So you really don't have to buy another book, okay?
Is that a book that we're going to use for the whole period? Like, not only now for this term, but for the following one?
Yeah, because next term we're going to have some of the, I didn't want you to do all of it, because next term you're going to study muscles. All right, this term we're going to do everything but, well, nerves a little bit, but the bones and the muscles and how the nervous system affects those two. That's next term. So that part you're still going to use this book with. You still use this book, okay? Then next, when we get to that point, we're also going to use the trail guide to the body. We're going to use that in here because it's telling you about how to navigate around the body. What are regions called? The planes of the body, that kind of stuff. So we're still going to use the trail guide here, but next term more so. So that book is going to be used twice too, okay? It's going to be used twice, all right? But this is what, if I ask questions and stuff, it's going to be here on the system. I won't throw anything at you that you can't see on this system. Okay, I always check back to that to make sure it's there if I talk about it. And if it's not, I'll let you know. I said, this is something new or different, but I try to make sure that it's on there. Okay. Now you can buy an app. I mean, knock yourself out. Primal Pictures is an excellent company. Muscle in Motion, there's a couple out there, and some of them are free. The apps are free too. But this is free, so you can do this wherever or however you want, all right? And that is with this. So you've got your Job's Body, you have that trail guide, and that free website. 250 is theory. That's the basis of massage, how it works, why it works, and how to do it. So there's going to be a little bit of book work in that because you have to talk about what we're going to do and do what we're going to do. And that's where we do it. Now, like I said, I don't want to teach you a massage routine that I do. First of all, every single time you put your hands on people, that person is going to be different. Even if they came in every week for the past 5 years, there are things that happen from their last massage to this massage that have changed them. They're going to come to you for a certain style that you have that they like. But if you're a cookie cutter massage therapist, you're going to bore them. They're going to get bored. And they will look around. Okay, you don't want them looking around. You do everything for them, they don't need to look around. But you're not going to bore them either. Okay. What I'd rather you understand is the foundations of Swedish and all the other modalities. If I know how the body's going to respond to a certain touch, I'll know whether to use it or not, right? And I won't have to follow a little pattern that somebody else wrote for me. The more knowledge you have up here, the more you can let go and get out of the way and let your intuition guide your hands. And that's our goal. I want to enjoy what I'm doing just as much as the person on the table. And if I can kind of zone out while I'm working, I'm going to give a much better massage. And I'll feel better afterwards. Just think of it as like it's a little mini meditation session for you. Because if you're massaging and thinking about the car repairs that you have to pay for, and your dog peed on the rug, and what are you going to do? You got to go home and clean it. You're having a fight with your significant other, and you're right, they're wrong. How is your massage going to feel? Terrible. Not very good, okay? Because your energy is going to be transferred into your hands, okay? What if the person on the table is just the most negative person in the world, a sociopath or whatever, you don't know. But those are vibes that are coming off of them. Are you going to pick them up? You know, you went in there feeling great, now you feel terrible. I just want to go home and cry. They look better, they're smiling because you have all their grief now. We're not going to do that either, right? That's called grounding. It's grounding. The energy flows through us either way, out or in, but we don't keep it. We don't keep it, okay? You're going to need to know how to do draping. There are certain things you have to. Our profession, you have to have really good people skills. Because that person's laying there with no clothes on, under a sheet. It's a power differential, right? We have to be very, very careful how we interact with people. Certain words we're not going to say. Certain things we're not going to do. Draping is the way they can be sure of us that we're looking out for them, their comfort, their safety, their privacy is going to be guarded at all times. Now that doesn't mean I can't get them down to a little towel here and a little towel here, because I can. I know where that towel is. It's not going anywhere I don't want it to go. And I'm not going to touch you inappropriately. So you can relax, you know. We're never going to put our hand on the end of their thigh, and we're never going to go there. We're never going to point our fingers right at the torso. It's always away. All those little things. Where are your eyes? They look up and what are you doing? Are you staring at their crotch? They're going to catch you if you do it, right? It's my luck, it's always, even if it's a 1 second blink, that's when they look at me. So we're not going to do that either. So what we say, where we look, how we touch are very, very important. Okay, very, very important. And then certain words we're not going to say because they're just not, we don't want to put them in that frame of mind. They flinch. Are you going to say, oh, did that hurt? What did they just register in their brain when you said hurt?
Do you know what you're doing?
That it shouldn't have happened. And
well,
you don't know what you're doing. Oops.
You didn't cause the pain, you released the pain. That pain was there before you ever touched them, okay? Now, if you did something wrong, then yeah, it's your fault, but you don't ever want them to know that, right? I meant to do that, no. It's because of the thought process you just put in their brain. Pain is a very negative word. Hurt is a very negative word. Oh, that's still reactive right there, isn't it? Let me change your position. Let's do it this way. Okay. You know, you're not mad at me, you're not hurt. You're going to fix it. And it was just a little, it's still reacting. It's still reacting. So certain words you're not going to say. Sexual, of course, no, no, no. But other words too, because we don't want them to go there mentally. I don't want to set that up. You didn't put the bolster under their knees, are you going to say, oh, excuse me, let me get the bolster and put it under your knees? Is that what you're going to say? What are you going to do? Change, finish what you're doing and then make it seem like now we're going to put the bolster because now we're going to work here. Never admit you did something wrong either, because now they're thinking you're an idiot. Do I really want you to keep touching me because you don't know what you're doing, right? Your touch has to be very calm and soothing and firm. Nervous little twitchy movements drive people up the wall. Every time you do something like that, you say a negative word, you do something like that, their endocrine system is going to squirt a little stress hormone into their bloodstream to put them on alert. They have to guard against you. There's something wrong here. They got to pay attention. It's going to take 20 minutes for the body to change back. So you screw up, you just lost 20 minutes of the massage time where they're not comfortable, okay? So you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Now, there's something called neuro-linguistic programming. Anybody heard of that? Yeah, something. NLP, that's what it is. You may want to go take one of those courses. Okay, you may want to do that. People who sell you products, all those ads that you look at, you know somebody's thinking of how you're going to react, and that's why they put it that way, right? They're trying to make you think a certain way, so you buy a product. So they're going to portray it in a certain way. That's what you're going to do. You have to, right? You have to. You're going to be a salesman. I hope somebody in here, that's why I'm doing massage. I'm not going to be. Yes, you are. You're selling yourself. And if you don't sell yourself, nobody's going to want you as a therapist. How do they know about you? You graduate, you sit back with your card in your hand and they're going to rush to your door. You got to go out and get them. You go to them. They don't come to you, right? And then how do you convince them to come to you? You sell yourself. You can make a lot of money selling other things too. I mean, you can sell aromatherapy if you want. You can sell back pillows or whatever you want to sell along with what you do, you can. You have to have what? To work, you have to have an occupational license, and if you're going to start selling, you have to have a sales tax number, right? But that doesn't mean you can't do it. You can. But they're even worse about sales tax than they are about the IRS, believe me. They want that sales tax. So as soon as you start doing that, you have to keep track of it and charge. Do you get charged tax for a massage? No, you don't. But if I sold you the aromatherapy that I used during that massage because you loved it, that aromatherapy bottle is going to get a tax put on it, right? So we'll go into all that. You really need to kind of flesh it out, do other things that, and we're going to learn body treatments, all right? The 301, that's hydro. So here we're going to be gold standard therapists. We're going to know the body, and we're going to work within our scope of practice. And we're not going to want to do massages all day long every day because it's tiring. I will not lie to you. This is a physical job. You do sports, you work on a 300-pound football player, you're being pretty physical. We're going to have some people come in. They have a company called Mila Therapeutics. It's up here somewhere. And they do an internship with athletes that are in training down here in South Florida. So you'll get to work on them, you'll get to meet the coaches, team owners, and you'll get a certificate from them in sports massage, okay? And I have a lot of people who are working for them now. One guy just, he moved out to, I think it was Texas, where the main office is for this guy who's an athletic trainer that works through them. Now he's the head guy out there. 3 years back. Yeah, and you could call and ask Miguel, how are you doing? What's going on? How did you get the job? What did you do? They'll be more than happy to help you. But they're going to come in and talk to you about it. And Kika is about this big and this wide. And she works on 300-pound football players and makes them say uncle. So you don't have to be big. But you have to know what you're doing, right? You have to know what you're doing. So in the hydro, we're going to learn about what goes with what we do that are using water, which includes hot packs, ice packs, which are very good for you. You should include them. They really do help. Hydro is a real important part of helping rebalance the body. But also treatments. You know, we can't do salt treatments in here because we don't have showers. And if I rubbed you with salt, you would find salt in crevices you never knew you had. And I wouldn't want to send you home like that. Now, what we used to do is go to a spa that the owner would let us work in there. She'd do a little class. Because afterwards, you are going to massage their staff. So their staff gets a free massage. Now, maybe the new owners will let me do it. I'll have to find out. But we did used to go to the Boca Resort and Spa in Boca Raton. You ever been there? Oh my God. That's old money.
Yeah.
That's money. Yeah. But she was really, really good there. There's a new one, but I'm pretty sure she'll let us do it. So I need to get back in touch with her. Because they've got a really huge hydro room. You could get 20 students in there easy and do a demo, right? Then there's another one that we like to go to, but it's kind of small, but I like for you to go because it's an Ayurvedic spa. Ayurveda is a fast-growing segment of our industry. People are finding it more and more interesting, and they're doing more and more treatments. There's a couple of places down here that are kind of retreat places you could go and study, or just go for a couple of days or whatever. But there's a spa in Hollywood on US 1. When you make that turn and start heading back north, it's maybe 2 blocks up on the left. It's called Jyoti Vita or something like that. But it's all treatments by Deepak Chopra. Who knows who he is? You heard of Deepak Chopra? Really interesting guy. I've been, not a friend, but I've been following his career for years. And when he first started doing his little talks, you know, and stuff like that, really, really interesting guy. But he has spas all over, and you can go and train and become a Deepak Chopra therapist and use his products. So this spa it's all about Deepak Chopra. They were trained with him. They use his products. They sell his products, and that's what they do. And I don't think they do anything else. It's all Ayurvedic treatments. So what we're going to do in here for that is we're going to learn how to do a bindi, which is a body wrap. Now, the thing about Ayurvedic treatments is it's really about cleansing. You know, that's their whole basis of what they do is you got to get all that waste products out of there, then you can start nourishing the body. So it's not what we would think of if I wanted to get a Swedish. It's a little different. It's still relaxing. It's still enjoyable. But they stay in the fascia, the superficial fascia, because they're trying to move the lymph of the body, okay, in this treatment that we do. And then we're going to do Shirodhara. Anybody know what that is? That's where you lay there and they put the oil on the 6th chakra right here. It's a treatment for mental problems. You're very anxious, you're very worried, you're very depressed. But it's just good for whatever ails you because it's very, very relaxing. But it's mainly a head massage. So you're not going to do the body. You're going to put the oil, it's going to run through their hair, and then you're going to massage the scalp. You're going to massage hands, feet, and the scalp. And you can throw a facial in if you want, but it's mainly about the scalp, about relaxing the scalp. And then one called Abhyanga. There are several different kinds of massages, but Abhyanga is the one that's kind of popular because there's 2 therapists doing it. Now they call that in tandem, right? So it kind of gets you ready for other things we're going to do. So you learn how to keep rhythm with someone else. You learn how to count. You learn how to put style into a repetitive move. And then when we do the manual lymph drainage, you're going to use that same skill because manual lymph drainage is based on counting the numbers and doing this little rhythm thing over and over again. And you're moving lymph, right? You're moving lymph. I will show you how to do it with one person, but the 2 people thing is kind of popular, okay? And stone. It's So we're going to do hot stone massage, but we're going to do it in this class. So you will do that this term, but that's part of hydro. And this is the knowledge part of it, and this is the actually doing it, so they kind of go together. Now, you don't have a book for this, but I do have a manual that I'm going to give you for free on modalities. So the knowledge about temperatures and all that kind of stuff is going to come from that manual. And then tons and tons and tons of handouts for that.
So
okay?
the only book that we have to have for now is that anatomy book?
And the trail guide. Was that on your list for this term? This course you need, it's called Therapeutic Fundamentals of Therapeutic Massage, okay, which you're going to use next term too. I try to use the same book. I don't make you buy books for this term and books for next term. We don't do the whole book this term because there's too much information. We're going to break that up too. And then the trail guide to the body.
Where do I get a list for the books? The list for the books.
When you got your schedule for your classes, it should have told you. You go to the bookstore, you look up the reference number.
Okay.
Or the name, which is MSS0001 or whatever. In the bookstore, it'll have it under that. But you just go to the bookstore and say, here's my schedule, and they'll take you to the massage section. Oh, okay. Or you go online. You can go online and look up the course number or the reference number for the classes you're scheduled for, and it'll tell you what to get. Okay. Now, like I said, you can get used books. I don't mind. I don't mind. I have a lot of people from last term, I've asked them to, you know, if you don't want to keep this, can you give it to the students or maybe sell it to them half price? So I do have one woman who's got one for $20 if you want to buy it. She's got extra large scrubs. If you want to buy that, it's only $20.
Oh, no, I just had a question. You just need that book and the trail guide to the body for this term? Okay.
And the fundamentals.
The fundamentals?
Mm-hmm. Huh?
There's a link from our schedule.
Yeah, yeah. So all this is, you can do it online. You can go to a private place and get a used one, but just please get the same edition. You know, if you get a really old one, it's going to be different. It may be the same information. It won't be in the same sections, and then that means I have to kind of compare them, and better to get the same edition. So this is third. I think this one is the 5th edition.
Which one?
I don't have it. The fundamentals. Does this say 5th?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the 5th edition. And then the trail guide, I think, is the, I forget what it is. I don't have one up here. It's 4th or 5th. I'm not really sure. 4th or 5th one. And then I have other books. I would like to reference them in class, but you don't have to buy them. They're just recommended. And I have a list that I'll give you for some that are recommended. I really don't want you to get off, you know, track. They're good for, but right now just try to concentrate and get done what you need to get done. You don't want to get off on a tangent and then not study for what we're doing in here. All right, so everybody got this? Yeah. Law, because this is what it defines our practice. It's called scope of practice, what we can and cannot do. Very important that you know that. Ethics are a big part of what we do because we're in such close contact with the public. No one else can go into a room alone with a person who is undressed. Not even a doctor, right? Somebody has to be in the room with that doctor, and you can't be undressed in front of that doctor. We're it. So, and we're first responders. No one touches those people. The doctor never touches them. He might, you know, your chest hurts. Go get a test. You know, his hands never go on them. You got melanoma developing on your back, but if you don't go in there and say, my back hurts right here, he won't ask you to take your clothes off and examine you and touch you. They used to do that. They don't do that anymore. You're lucky if they even put a stethoscope on your skin. So who's going to tell you that there's something on the back that you need to take care of? Who's going to know that? Us.
What about physicals? When doctors have to do physicals on the patient?
I'm sorry, what?
When doctors have to do physicals on the patient, they have to like touch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what about that?
Something, well, that goes into it, but not really define things. I mean, they really don't. They may suspect something. What do? Send her out for a test. So they rely too much on that, way too much on that, because they're afraid of getting sued. right? I'm basing it on this machine, you know, it's not my fault. The machine told me it was this way. They don't want to know. And are they going to go in depth with everything? No, they're not. Are they going to pick your hair up? No, they're not. They're not, okay? Do they look at your foot, pick it up and look at the sole of your foot because they're doing a physical on you? No, they're not, okay? They're not. But we touch them everywhere. We touch them everywhere. If there's a lump under there, I know there's a lump under there because I felt it, right? It's called palpation. That's a skill you have to learn. That's what the trail guide's all about. How I feel the body, okay? And I need to know from my anatomy, well, is that lump supposed to be there? On your back, there's a muscle called the trapezius. And the lower trapezius is a very narrow band of muscle that goes from the spine of the scapula down to T12. Now, if you're running up the back with your hands, you're going to feel a bump. It's supposed to be there. I see people trying to get the bump out, and it's hilarious because nobody told them that, you know, that's the trap. It's the trap, all right? It's supposed to be there. But somewhere else, you know, but the abdomen, okay, if they have an aneurysm, that is a weakened spot in a vessel wall and the blood is pooling and it's blowing up like a balloon, it's very, very weak. If that burst, how soon before they're dead? Less than 7 minutes. They will bleed out in less than 7 minutes. Does your regular doctor ever feel around for an aneurysm? Because it doesn't hurt, right? And you may not know it's there because you don't really kind of push on your own stomach. You don't. So certain things, it's really up to us. And that's another part of the law. How do you let them know? Oh my God, you have melanoma on your back. Over the past month, this has changed. You really need to go today to that because that's cancer. Can I say that? No. No. But I still have to say something, right? That's where your people skills come in. I can't make them go. I can recommend that they go, and I can tell them, when you come back, please bring a note from your doctor. Because I don't want them to keep coming back and getting a massage and not go to the doctor. Because then they're going to say, who made it worse? Right? They will blame me. They will, okay? And that's another thing for why you want that medical history from the clients. They didn't put it on there, and they got sick. Well, it's not my fault. You're supposed to tell me what you've got. You're supposed to be honest with me. Hi. This is for you. Okay. And then there's a, if you wouldn't mind just putting your name here, your email address, and your phone number. And if I can text you, put a little X out by your phone number, okay? And just find a seat somewhere. So we're pretty darn important, aren't we? We're even more important to surgeons. Surgeons should be using us constantly because how they heal, that's connective tissue, right? We want that scar to be very small, very pliable, and the only person that can do that is a massage therapist. No machine is going to do it. They can't invent one that will do that. So we should be in that, we're part of that team. Getting them ready for the surgery and taking care of them afterwards. Now for facial, for facelifts, they know the importance of massage. And almost all plastic surgeons down here use massage therapists. Because they get them ready before they do the surgery, and they take care of them afterwards, and then they maintain them with the facial massage. And those people pay cash, you know. I get $95 for 30 minutes, and they don't even blink because they're rich. And you sell them on the maintenance thing, well, you need to come back to keep the fluids exchanged to protect your investment. They understand those words. And they'll come back, right? So that's what we're going to learn, how to deal with the public. That's in law, okay? But palpation is one of the skills that we need, the basic thing. So who knows what that word means?
Touch, to hear, the sense of touch, to palpitate. kind of explain it? I'm explaining a little. I know what it is, but I can't explain it.
And then you don't know what it is. Tell me what. Tell me what it is.
It's touching. It's like the first.
Why don't I just say touch then? Why do I have to come up with a different word?
Sounds better.
Hey, Unique, I'm in class right now, hon. Can you call me later? To assess. Chris, hi, darling. I sent someone to you, a client.
Yeah. I called him back. Hi, how are you?
Okay, guys, this is Chris Karlicki. He was in last class. He'll be coming up and getting massages from you. They start in next term doing their hands-on.
When does class start?
The night class in about 2 weeks they're going to start, the 16th.
Oh, okay.
6:30. So send me an email, I'll put you down.
Okay, definitely. I just want to stop in and say hi. I was in the area and
okay.
I was speaking to Joe and they had this is for not starting until February, but they set up an internship program now where they're going to have a few massage therapists on site, including myself.
Yeah, they have to. I told them that. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to have a few, including Wanda.
Good.
Where we're working with like the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, and they would be able to come in and get the experience and learn some difference.
All right. Whenever he wants to come in and talk to them about that, you know what I'm going to set it up. He works for another company like Mila that does works with athletes, and they have the massage therapist there and an internship. And what's the Strikers? Is that soccer?
Soccer. Yeah, soccer.
That's what I know. Soccer. I don't know. It's soccer. Yeah. Okay. And they are affiliated with certain teams. Where Mila kind of is lots of different things, but so before game and after game you'll get that experience too. And his company is called Atlantic Rehabilitation Centers, and they're all over the place. He's got them all over, and I'm not sure exactly. If you want to do it, they'll work with you on the days and the times that you could come in. And does he also give them a certificate?
I believe
like
so. I
okay.
believe so.
All right.
Yeah, Mila does. I know Joe is setting up this program, so I believe he's going to. It would start in like February, so he would obviously come in prior to that and give you his spiel. Yeah.
Well, hopefully this group will want to go down to the Keys this year.
Yeah.
If they don't do it on spring break, because people don't want to do work on spring break. I could not organize it last year because they picked spring break week to do this run down there, multiple sclerosis bike run. And all the students were, yeah, we'll go. Oh, I'm going out of town then, you know, any day but spring break. So hopefully they won't do that spring break this time. It usually was in April, not in March, and they moved it.
Yeah, I remember that happened.
Yeah, they moved it.
2 classes ago when I was here.
Yeah, so hopefully we can get that back. We do community work, and it's strictly volunteer. You don't have to go, but it's great experience. Great. I was going to send an email out to all you guys because the Disney Marathon is coming up, and Kathy sent me an email, and I said, well, I'll see about the graduates if they want to go too.
Yeah.
And go.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's January 9th, I think. It's from Thursday to Sunday, but you only have to do one day. You can do all of them, but if you only want to do one day, you can do that too.
I mean, I know, like, for them, the best thing they could do is like what you're saying with the multiple sclerosis, the bike ride and you know, working on the golfers. Like, the majority of the jobs, like, you have spas available, but the vast majority of your jobs are going to be physical therapy, chiropractic work. If you open your own business, a regular massage place inside of one of those facilities, so I would say a good 65 to 70% of the jobs out there, you want to get an idea of different bodies, because you're going to have what's big down here. You're going to have a lot of, I'm in Davie, I see a lot of college students who are, you know, constantly studying. I see a ton of CrossFitters. I see, because I'm in Davie, sometimes I'll have some of the Dolphins players come in, or some of the soccer players come in. So just getting an idea of the different kinds of bodies is the best thing you can do. And, you know, you're going to see a lot of, I know for me, what surprised me being in Davie I'm in a physical rehabilitation center. I had opened my own business, but I rent a room there. I see his patients, so I do a lot of injury-related work, but I also see a lot of people, whether I advertise on Groupon or whether it's word of mouth, and I'm always surprised because I personally, I did the spa thing for a little while to kind of steal some of their ideas and incorporate it into my own thing. But I advertise more so online for like deep tissue, sports massage, that sort of thing. And you know, what was surprising to me is like how many like in shape people, like I didn't expect, you know, you expect the whole range of people, but that was surprising to me that you get a lot of athletes coming in. So the best thing you can do is just get used to different body types. So
Yeah, definitely.
definitely. But,
And not be scared.
yeah.
Right, not be scared.
Yeah. So anyhow, I just wanted to swing in and say hello.
Okay.
I'll let Joe know, and I'll give him your email. So
Yeah,
maybe
don't.
you know, in the next month or so, he can set something up, and
Yeah.
he can at least come in and speak to them.
Yeah.
How soon?
They just, today's their first day,
First
so.
day. Wow, that was a good timing on my part, right?
It was, honey. You will see him again. He'll come in and get massages, so
Yes.
you'll see him.
Yes, sounds good.
And tell Wanda to come up too. I know she works all the time, but
Yeah,
I'd like.
she's a busy bee.
Yeah, well, she needs a massage then.
I know.
I'll tell Joe, let her off, let her out, let her come up.
Take care, guys.
Bye, honey. See you soon. So you'll have them too if you want to do the sports thing with them too. You can do both. I mean, you can do this one and then do that one. It's kind of up to you. We try to arrange it so you're not missing class when you do go down there and work with them. But if it's in, we can count it towards theory because you're actually working with your hands, so that is theory, right? That is practice. This is the foundation part of what we're going to do. Like I said, I'd rather you have a strong foundation than know how to follow some steps somebody gave you and you have no idea why you're following it. I know a school, Palm Beach State College, where they give you protocols and routines and you have to follow it exactly or you don't pass. They don't care if you know the principle behind why you're doing it. They just want you to imitate them perfectly. You know, so 10 years from now, you're probably still going to be doing that same massage. Hopefully not, but you may be doing that. So don't expect me to say, here, we're going to learn this, because it's going to be a little different, all right? Some modalities, yes, because there's a reason. When we do lymph drainage, I cannot teach the whole body because they're certified teachers, and you have to be through them. But I do have permission to do the face. I can show you the manual lymph Vaughter manual lymph technique on the face. I can do that. That's a whole nother course, and if you want to get certified in it, you can. I am certified in it, but that's a whole nother course. But you have to do it in a certain way because you're trying to move the fluid, and you have to learn how to push it along and direct it where it has to go, right? So you have to do it that correctly. Some people will try to say that shiatsu has to be done one certain way because you're doing points on meridians, but that's not true. It's kind of like water. It'll seek its own balance. Truthfully, it will. Swedish is definitely one where you have artistic freedom, right? Just don't hurt them. So if you know the rules, when you're not going to hurt them, and you're not going to expose them, the drape is going to be where it should be at all times. Be as artistic as you want.
Can you tell us what palpitate means?
To assess by touch.
Okay, I was close.
You're very close. You're doing an assessment.
Forgot the assess one.
You're assessing what you're touching, okay? And hopefully you're going to be doing that through the whole massage. Not consciously, but I'm paying attention to what my hands are feeling. And I'm going to evaluate that feeling, okay? And adjust my treatment accordingly. You're doing course correction through the whole thing, right? Through the whole thing, because you're paying attention to what your hands are feeling. Now, people call that different things. You're being focused. In shiatsu, they call it you're being the observer, and you are. You're observing everything that happens under your touch. You know who makes the best massage therapists? Blind people. Why do you think they do?
Because it's all about
It's all about touch with them, right? All about touch. So they really, really are terrific. That's the field they should be doing.
Can I use the restroom?
Of course. You guys want to take a break and go to the bathroom? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about breaks and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, please go.
Where are the bathrooms?
Right across the hall. You're right across the hall.
Awesome, thank you.
There's a water fountain there too. Now, in the past, we would give you a smoke break, but I'm not giving you a smoke break.
No, you should encourage them.
So please don't go smoke.
And then I always advise my teacher because my sunglasses, because I'm legally blind. So
Oh, okay, that's fine.
thank you.
I'm so glad you're here.
Thanks.
I was actually going to ask you a question about the last two classes, the hydro. Were those supposed to be within these same classes too?
Yeah, you should be signed up for 6 classes.
Okay,
And that was
'cause
one thing I wanted to check on my schedule because I noticed that the numbers aren't all the same. So some people in here are not registered in all 6 classes, and you
Yes.
need to be.
I think I remember trying to sign up for one of the hydros and they weren't there, something like that. I mean, I haven't checked recently, but I'll check.
Yeah, please do.
Right away.
One of them, the only thing that it wasn't on is they hadn't put my name as the instructor yet, but it should have been open for you to sign up in. Now, if you try today, get back with me if you can't, and I'll
Okay.
figure it out.
Okay, when we went for the orientation, the paper you gave us, that hydro class wasn't on there.
I didn't give you, that's what they gave you, and I don't know where they got that information from because they didn't ask me.
Because they told us to sign up for those classes by July 14th, I think. And then that one wasn't on there.
That's what I'm trying.
So I thought it was only 4 classes in total, basically. Not 6. 4.
They only asked me for what the classes were after they'd done your orientation. What should we be telling them? And I gave them the list. Now, I know it's in SID because I've gone in and looked at it. I got the reference number for that class. So I apologize. There are 2 more classes, guys, that you need to take. Now, there's just a few people who haven't signed up for all of them, but you do definitely have to sign up for those. I'm sorry. And you have this week, you know, the
last
drop
two
ad is...
on the board.
I'll give you the reference numbers.
I have a question about the HCP class. Are we allowed to take it next summer?
The whole thing, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
We'll talk about scheduling. They want you to get all that done by the end of this term.
Because they only offer
They
it
do,
on
by the HCP
Saturday.
they do.
Told me to go to Sheridan, and they offer in the course they include the BLS and all of the
I
other.
already have all that. I took it in the summer, but I didn't know about the HCP until it was already offered, and then they didn't have another one for the rest of the
Well, they're only offering it on Saturdays,
They do offer it this term. It's on Saturday.
I know.
so I'm taking it
I don't have
with the other
time on
school
Saturdays.
online. It's online, and then if you if you can't show the certificate for the stuff or the cards for whatever is the in class, because there's 3 different days you have to go in for. If you have it, you don't, and they just count it, but otherwise you go in.
So can you do an online one for that?
Yeah, when you sign up with them, show them your cards, the course that you've already done, and they will give you credit for that, and you don't have to
Okay.
repeat it.
So
They won't lower the
that
price, but you know, but it's still, it's like a third of what it cost here.
Sheridan Tech,
So,
Yeah, here, let me,
the one in Hollywood, right?
yeah, on Sheridan Street, yeah, Hollywood. But most of it's online, you know, it's really convenient. Where's my phone? Sheridan Tech. We're going to go over all that. We're getting down to where we're going to talk about that too.
There's certain days I can't come. They're holidays. I have the list. Okay, so Rosh Hashanah is on the 14th and 15th.
Okay.
Right. Oh, no, wait, I'll be able to, will I be able to come? I'll double check, because it's either that, and then I can come on Wednesday, or I can come on Monday. Not on Tuesday or Wednesday, but,
That's okay. We'll work around it. That's fine.
yeah, and then Yom Kippur is on a Wednesday. And
Yeah, we have to accommodate you. It's okay. Don't worry.
I just
Don't
figured
worry.
I'd show you ahead of time. I have a list of...
Okay. Well, why don't you send me a text with all that on there, or an email, either one,
Okay.
and say these are the days that I can't come. Okay.
All right.
And if there's something important going on, I'll work with you on that. And they probably told you guys you had to take the other A&P. They told you you had to take 156 too. Some of the people they were telling them, that's next term, and they were telling people this term, you got to sign up for all the anatomies right now. I don't know where they got that information. I apologize. You know, what we used to be able to do is I was a one-stop shop. You came here, you talked to me about everything, you had one person to go to. And I could put it in the computer. Now you go here, you go there, this person doesn't know and they send you down here and you try to get back. It's a mess.
They shuffle you around.
They shuffle you around. But all colleges do that. Trust me, we're not unique. I went to Barry University. You talk about... Plus they're all old people who are doing most of it volunteer. You don't know what's going on. They don't know and they don't care. You know, they don't care. They know you're going to come back. You want to go to the class. You'll be back.
Yeah. I talked to the health and sciences, and I came in a little late, and they said that I can turn in like my drug test and fingerprint in like a little bit later because it's still getting processed. So like I want to know how long I would have till I can turn that in.
Well, as soon as possible.
Yeah. But like if there's a deadline, if I don't.
Well, we'll talk about that. We try to put it within this week because this is add drop week.
Okay.
You know, if we try to drop you 2 weeks from now, that's going to be kind of difficult.
Okay.
And you might have to pay for the class, or you might get an F, and I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, and I also went to financial aid today because they kept not paying for it. So I went today, and they said they had to do it manually or something. So I need to go back today and see if it's...
Well, we'll be out of here by 2.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you time to go get your parking decal and all that kind of stuff. You know, I think someone borrowed my trail guide and accidentally forgot. Oh, no, they didn't. There it is. Okay, good. Yeah, I think we're up to the 4th edition with the trail guide.
Yes, I work at the ASC.
I'm sorry, what?
I work at ASC until 10, and on Tuesdays is classes.
In the Academic Resource Center?
Yes.
Oh, there? I thought you looked familiar. I've seen you in there.
This is classes at 9:50. So am I...
We're gonna, I put it in the computer that way because I had to, all right? But if you look at the time, if we meet from 10 to 3 every day in the week, we've got the time covered for all the classes. So just count on 10 to 3.
Every day 10 to 3.
Yeah. And if we go over one day, you know, we can make some extra time up. Don't worry about it. But really 10 to 3.
Okay.
And you'll be good. I have to send Esme a list. I've got a bunch of things I'd like to get purchased for us for this year in there. So is everybody signed? Everybody signed? Okay. Ah, I missed you. Did you get your manual? Student manual? Okay. So, honey, could you pass me one of those maps? Thanks. Just put your email address and your phone number, and if I can text you, put a little X. Personal. Yeah. I got your college one. All right. Law. Florida law is chapters 480, Florida statutes. And under the Florida Administrative Code, FAC, it's chapter 64B7. There are a couple of things from other chapters that relate to us, like in 256, it's for all health sciences. You all have to do HIV. You know, so some things kind of come from others, but those are the two main ones that are what we're going to look at that deal with us, okay? That will include ethics, too, not just the law, but ethical behavior is very important. That's a big part of your state board exam. They think you coming out of school that you have a knowledge of how to work with the public, right? So you have to do that. But mainly what would be something that you can do and things that you can't do. And what we call that is scope of practice or standard of practice, but most people say scope, you know. So I can't crack your neck, right? Only chiropractors can crack your neck. I can't tell you you've got cancer because I can't diagnose. I can assess. That first visit with me can be an hour of assessment, but I have to have the diagnosis first. Am I on the same level as a PT? Oh yeah. We can do more than they can. That's why they hate us. They hate us. We're under a turf war with them. And I hate to tell them this, but they've priced themselves out of the market.
Because they have to get a doctor's degree, that's interesting.
Yeah. You know, so some of the things, well, as far as touch goes, you know, we're on the same level. And because a private school down here, you only go 500 hours, you don't know crap, right? You're not going to know anything at 750 either, trust me. You're just scratching the surface. So they don't understand why some doctor could hand me a prescription and I could do an assessment of that person and treat them. That's what they do, right? They don't like that. They don't like that. I've worked in rehab for like 8 years. I worked with orthopedic surgeons, chiropractors, PTs, OTs, everybody. We were all in there the same. When the client came in, there were treatments they had to do, and everybody did everything. It wasn't PTs are going to, no. Whatever had to be done within that hour, you know, and you were free, you did it. You did it. And most of the massage therapists were better than the PTs. Never get a massage from a PT. Oh my God. They will, oh come in, we're going to do cranial sacral. They don't have a clue. They don't have a clue.
Well, isn't a PT's primary emphasis more on rehabilitation than...
Their focus is exercise.
Right.
All right. Now, PTs are more focused on the lower body gait, you know. OT, I have a bachelor's degree in occupational therapy. I don't practice it, but I did. And ours is more working with stroke patients and coordinating your hand movements for your daily activities. But PTs have kind of creeped into the OT field, and now they're trying to take over that. So a lot of jobs that I know people before, it would only been an OT that they hired PTs for it. Even working with premature infants, you know, feeding and stretching and all that, that used to be strictly OT. Now PTs are doing it. Now PTs are doing it. So they're kind of taken over out there, but they don't really know how to treat soft tissue. They don't have a clue. They're very cold, very clinical. They don't get the rhythm part, you know, they just don't get it. So.
No, is that going to be, like you said, they're trying to take over, that interfering with therapists?
Well, no. We'll talk about that, like, kind of, sort of, in law, but everything they've tried so far, they've been unsuccessful with.
It sounds like they're trying to put you guys out of work, take over.
Well, they don't think we should be able to get a prescription and treat someone. We don't have the training. You know, we've never been sued for hurting anyone. Been doing it for years. So, and they don't like the fact that we're called therapists. You know, why do you get that designation therapist? You're not qualified.
We don't do as much schooling as them, so they're bitter.
Yeah. Yeah. So what happens with you is you're professional, which means you take it on yourself to educate yourself, okay? We can't speak with slang, so when we talk to people, we can't say, hi, yo, and all that, you know, all that slang words. We really can't do it. We can't be aggressive in our talk and forward with our talk. We really shouldn't even call a client by their first name unless they've given us permission. We're not on a personal basis with them. We're a therapist. That's what that word means. That doesn't mean I can't be warm and fuzzy with you. I can. But I don't want you to think I'm your pal. And I don't want you to think I'm your pal. That's called transference and countertransference. Because then they're going to start wanting things that are unrealistic from you. And you're going to want things that are unrealistic from them.
But through time, can you develop a relationship with a
Of
client?
course, you want to. But it's still a therapist-client relationship, okay? Because you don't want them to start saying, why do I have to pay full price for your... You know, we're buddies. Aren't we buddies? That's why you don't want family members either. You think your mom's going to want to pay for your massage? No, she's not. And oh, my friend's going to come, but you know, you don't want to pay.
Pretty bad if you're going to charge your mom.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. But then she'll tell all her buddies because they could come through her. And yeah, no, you don't want to do. If you went in to get your hair cut or dyed or whatever, do you ever haggle with the cosmetologist? Try to get them down a little? No, you don't. So why do people try to do that to us? You don't haggle with me. That's my price. Yeah.
Yes, I know this has nothing to do, but it does, but it's like a, well, okay, I heard this from my best friend, and he was basically saying he wants a happy ending. Like, what is that?
We'll talk about that in law. When we do a history of massage, our respect level has gone up and down over the years. At certain times, they wanted to do away with it completely, not because the massage isn't beneficial. It's how people were running the schools and how people were practicing the profession. But right now, it's everywhere. I mean, even dentists hire massage therapists now. It's completely mainstream where it wasn't before, but it is. But there's always going to be that element, right, that want to use it for erotic purposes. There always are, right? So that's one thing we have to fight against to change that image, but you're never going to get rid of it. It's just, you're not. So that's what we'll talk about. We'll deal with that, all right? But we definitely don't do happy endings, people, okay? That's extra. That's like, yeah, what? Somebody had a question? Oh, I'm sorry.
What's the gap between transition from massage therapist to acupuncture?
If you want to do acupuncture work, I have several friends who are. We'll have somebody come in and do a guest lecture. Dr. Royster, who's an excellent acupuncturist, by the way. That is more training. The hands-on part that you're doing now will fit perfectly with what you're going to learn there. Okay. There's an excellent school in downtown Fort Lauderdale across from our campus. I think it's called Atlantic Institute or something like that. And all the teachers there are from China. They go back and forth from China. If you wanted to go, that would be one of the places I would recommend. But you would do that after you get your massage license, and then you go and do that course. I think it's 5 years. I'm pretty sure it is. It is a doctor. You are a doctor. Here in Florida, having that designation means that you should be treated with the same respect and level of care that other doctors get. So, but they're kind of like, yeah, they're supposed to get paid through insurance, but sometimes they don't, and then you have to kind of fight about it. But talk to other therapists, talk to other acupuncturists, and then go to the school and, you know, shop around before you make a decision and see what the actual, not what you read in ads about how wonderful it is, come here and take it. No, find out what people are actually doing and going through. Well, that school I think does go back and forth. I think they're affiliated in Beijing in some way. I'm not sure exactly how. But that's not the only school. I mean, there's plenty of them. If you're a chiropractor, you can do this kind of together. It's just a few more hours, I think 100 more hours of training. So there are a lot of chiropractors who are acupuncturists as well. So you could do that too. I'm going to try to get him in here. We have a graduate of the program from many years back who went on and became a chiropractor. He was out west, but he has just recently moved back here. And he can talk about how you really need the hands-on skill to go with chiropractic as well, right? Unfortunately, a lot of those schools will not let them touch the soft tissue. How crazy is that? What moved the bones out of place in the first place? The muscles. What's going to keep them out of place? Even though you crack them 5 times a day, if that muscle is not pulling correctly on the bones, it'll just go right back, right? So, yeah. But that's a big employer of us. Chiropractic offices, almost all of them now realize how important that is, and they have therapists on staff. Yes, yes. Dr. A.T. Stills in the 1890s came up with osteopathy. He was a medical doctor, and he noticed how the drugs that were being given at the time were killing people more than the illnesses they were trying to cure. They were using mercury, right? And to kill pain, they gave you opium and laudanum, so they made you a drug addict, so they ruined your life to get you out of pain. And he just thought there's got to be a better way. And the term holistic that we use now for everything, Dr. Stills came up with that. The sad thing about it is a lot of them don't practice the manual techniques anymore. They do family practice. You know, the designation is DO, Doctor of Osteopathy. I go to them because I know at least they know a little bit about the soft tissue. Whether or not they practice it or not, that's another thing. But now there's a school at Nova. If you guys want to, we could go over there and offer to do massages for all their graduate students so they can see how important massage is. And they could start including us in their practice, like chiropractors do. Yeah. My doctor is a DO. She's never put her hands on me, except to say, how are you? Yeah. But she has therapists who work through her in her office. You know, you get the car, you go, they'll come in, but you can go to them too. So she does still do the hands-on part. There are very few of them down here that still just do manual techniques. One thing, they really can't get enough money, you know, to do it, to spend that whole hour working on something. So I wish they did, but it's hard to find. There's 1 or 2 that still do.
So it's very different from Europe, because osteopathy in Europe is all about children.
Yeah, it is all about the body. It is about preventative care and all that in Europe. It is totally different.
Yeah. Right.
We're ass backwards here. I don't know what's going on. I really don't know. It's weird. Because we're still thinking, well, that's just, you know, you got to be weird to want to put your hands on somebody. There's something wrong with you. Right? Right? It's a cultural thing, yeah. The only time people put their hands on each other is for a doctor or for sex. There's no in between. You know, and some poor guys, just the way our culture is, they don't get touched by anybody. Their buddies, they're afraid to touch you. They're your buddy. You think that, you know, they won't even hug each other because they're afraid they're going to think something weird. Their family, maybe they'll kiss them on the cheek. That's about it, you know. The rough and tumble where you touch all over, that ends when you're like 9 or 10 years old, right? You don't keep doing that. Now, that's not the way it is in Europe, you know. And in our school system, oh my God, if you touch someone in your school system, you go to jail. Right? You can't, the teacher can't say that you did a good job. You can't do that in this country. So we're raising people and we're totally starving them for touch.
But I went to the for the CPR class, the renewal, and then the guy that was there giving the class, he said these days, even for the paramedics to touch somebody, they're being sued. And especially if you're choking, you have to ask that person, can I touch you? I mean, can I help you before you help? Otherwise, you're being
Everything's
sued.
a lawsuit. It's litigation.
Exactly. So
Well, we're going to learn in theory how important touch is to us, to be a healthy human being. It is part of our nature. It's like needing food and water. And when we don't get it, we supplement in other ways. That's why we're all obese, we have all obese, we have all these other problems because we're starving for touch. And we're trying to compensate for that need but everything else doesn't really satisfy that need, so we get kind of crazy. We get kind of, you know, in Sweden, the kids in school, before they lay down to take a nap, they give each other a massage. Isn't that sweet? Can you see that in America? Oh my God. My son came home and he told me that this other little boy touched him. Oh my God. No, it's part of their culture, you know, and they're a lot happier than we are. They seem to kind of get along a little easier than we do. You know, it goes with that driven personality, but it doesn't mean we have to drop dead at 45 because we were driven. The stress level, right, that we are under, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So that's our job, is to educate people, right, to the benefit. Everybody now, 20 years ago, did everybody have a gym membership?
No.
Did they even think that was important?
No.
Now, you got a gym membership, right? You go to the gym all the time. We understand that that's important, right? The whole thing with diet, everybody's going crazy with diet. It used to be you didn't care, somebody else. Now everybody's worried about it. Their cholesterol, they're going crazy about the diet. Well, the missing link in your health is a massage. You know diet's important, you know you got to exercise. Well, you have to get massage too. And it's just our culture. In India, there are people on the corners. It's part of their daily life. They know they need it. They just do it. The wife's job is to massage the husband. He doesn't have to do anything, of course. The grandmother's job is to massage the grandchildren the minute they're born. When their skin is still too soft, they get a ball of dough and they oil it up and they massage them with the ball of dough. So they're stretching those nerve endings and they're massaging them so they develop much better than they would without it, right? And then the women massage each other. They get together, their little swirl, whatever they call them, they get together. So all the women in the village massage each other. So everybody gets a massage, right? You walk around down there like in plazas, or there's people everywhere, $10. There's like every other person can do a massage for you if you want one, because they know how important it is, right? Especially with infants. In Japan, they work very, very hard, long hours, 60-hour work week. That's what they do. The reason they could get up the next morning and go back and do it again is because they get a really hot bath and a massage every day, right? That's a part of their culture. It's not part of our culture. We need to change that.
I will stand on defense. I think it's becoming more recognized in this culture because according to the Department of Bureau of Labor Statistics, this profession in particular is expected to grow double the average in other occupations also.
It is.
So it's becoming, I think, more recognized.
It is. It is.
It's a good sign.
But they're not recognizing it for the importance of the complete health end of it all. It's still kind of everybody likes it, it feels good, so we all should indulge. We need to indulge because it'll help us with our stress level, which it will.
We need like maybe the medical community or some of the media outlets to maybe emphasize or bring it to public's attention.
We have to go to the doctors. We have to go to the rehab people. We have to go to the insurance company. The FSMTA, a group that you should join, goes every year up to the Tallahassee, and they massage the Senate to bring awareness to them of the massage profession, right? We have to do it. We have to be ambassadors of our profession. Right. So we have to educate ourselves, but we also have to educate the public on the importance of what we do, okay? Now, massage envies are, you know, not the best place in the world, but they're a great place to start. I mean, I know people that are still working there like 10 years later. They like it. They really, really do. Other places, you want to move up, they're going to want experience, right? It's a catch-22. If you need experience, but nobody gives you the experience, where do you get the experience? You get it working there. You'll learn to show up on time, you'll learn how to follow a schedule, how to work with the public, how to get along with a fellow therapist, all that good stuff. And then after a year, you want to stay, you stay, or you look around. That's kind of where it is. And it has to be, someplace there has to be a lower cost so that the general public can get a massage. Not everybody can pay $100 for a massage, right? That's what I want when I do a massage, but I know that a lot of people can't give me $100 for a massage. But if you want to make money at this, you got to realize they have to be people that can give you $100 a massage. So my neighbors are not going to be my clients. You know, my family's not going to be my clients. I have to go where the $100 people are.
It doesn't hurt to have them, though. Still, I mean,
no.
The more clients you have.
Yeah.
And also, if you're very good, they spread through word of mouth. You know, I went to this person, go to her, go to her.
Yeah, I mean, there's room in this, like I said, there's room in this market for everybody. Yeah, for everybody. But if you want to be the person who makes, you know, a lot of money at this, then your clients aren't going to be giving you $35, $20 a massage, right?
Five-star place.
Yeah. Now, I'll tell you, because I've worked at all of them. In the spa industry, we're kind of getting off topic, but anyway, the spa industry, you're going to work on a commission. They do not hand you a paycheck every Friday. You don't know what you're going to make week to week. What it's based on is what treatments did you give during that week. You're going to get a percentage of that. Okay? So you want to do everything they offer. The ones that use products like the Ayurvedic stuff, they're going to pay you more. When products are involved, you get paid more and it's easier work. That person's laying there getting wrapped up and you're sitting there for 20 minutes while they're wrapped up. It's easier work. You don't want to be doing deep tissue, deep tissue, deep tissue, deep tissue. It's tiring. And a spa gives you that opportunity. But you're not, in the menu it may say $200. You're not getting $200. You're going to get 25% of that $200. Now most of them will put a compensation in there, a tip in there. That will be part of it. So you will get a tip. No matter what, you're going to get a tip. And most places they'll give you more money than that. They'll add to what they're paying for the massage. Okay. So if you've never worked a job that's a commission-based job, you got to think about it. It's going to, all right, we'll talk, you have to budget. You know, you can't spend every penny you made this week because you don't know what you're going to do next week. So what you do is you base everything on averages. You know, I worked this year, I made this much money, I worked this number of hours, divide them, this is what I made on average every hour. I still do on-calls at the Marriott, but when I was working there, I just did it like 3 days a week or something, not very much. But I made $36,000 a year. I didn't kill myself. It was like, you know.
For 3 days a week?
Yeah.
For how long?
I was there for 5 years. I was the lead therapist too. As a lead therapist, I was paid $20 an hour plus my. So if I'm teaching and that kind of stuff, it was $20 an hour. Then if I wanted to go do something, a service, then they would switch me and put me on a commission basis. But it adds up. So I would rather be doing the $250 therapy treatment, right, than the Swedish, because I got more money. So I really worked hard to be good at those other treatments, you know. So, but that's what you have to. It all has to average out. So you look at the end of the year. What did I actually make? I worked these many hours. I got for this long the prices, and for me, it always worked out to $35 an hour. Some I got more, some I got less, but on average, I kind of was looking at $35 an hour.
That's pretty good.
Now, you may not want to do a 12-hour day. It's up to you. But I did on Saturdays and Sundays. The spa was open for 12 hours. I was there for 12 hours. But, you know, you got the rest of the week to rest up. So, a lot of at the Four Seasons, I did 3 12-hour days. So I worked 3 days and I was off 4 days. And I was doing this treatment and that treatment and sitting down for here and you know, I wasn't killing myself all day long. And you can do it that way. You could do, you know, 4 hours, whatever you want to do, part-time, full-time, whatever. But just know if it's the spa industry, it's a commission. They will have something called paid time off that, like, say you're going to take a vacation, you're going to be out sick, you get that money. You don't get it every week. You accumulate it, and you can use it when you're not there. You can draw it out. Now, they also gave us $1,500 a year for our CEU courses. So whatever I wanted, if it was related to them, it couldn't be off-the-wall stuff, you know. But they gave me money for that. I got money to take my CEUs from them. Not a bad deal. The rehab where I worked was a salary. I knew exactly what my salary was each week. I started at 17. I think when I left it was at 19 an hour. And it was 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. They paid for my health insurance. We had a 401k. Any CEU I wanted to do, they paid for it. They paid for my license. Anything I needed to keep me in that clinic, they paid for. Yeah. And they would let me come back after hours, because everybody gets like a treatment for 30 days, 30 days, or maybe they'll extend it, but they're not going to be in there forever doing that treatment. I could keep them as a client after they got through their treatment as a private client, I could go to their house, or I could meet them back at the clinic and use the treatment rooms, that massage there, with that person. I just gave them $10. So on the counter was my business card, right, on the counter, and my little thing on the wall. And I did the treatment in there with them, and then after hours I did whatever I wanted. They wanted reflexology, that's what we did. Because they knew that would keep them in that person's mind, and they would be telling all their friends about it. So they were promoting the clinic by letting me do that, which is a good thing, right?
Can I ask you, in your experience, what you said you work with 12-hour day
Mm-hmm.
shifts, between clients, how long do you get, like a 5-minute break between the next one, or is it right back after it?
Well,
Are you on your feet the whole 12 hours a day?
Okay, the labor law says that every 4 hours you get a 15-minute break, right? That still applies in the spa.
Okay.
That does. One thing you got to learn, guys, is you have to hustle, all right? If you're working a schedule, you got one client every hour. You got 10 minutes between clients to get ready for the next one. So you come to work, you'll be lucky if your little butt sits down at any time during that time. Now they do have to let you rest 15 minutes, but sometimes they'll count those 10 minutes. They'll say, well, you've had 30 minutes already when you weren't doing a massage, you know. But if they really care about their therapist, they'll find a way to take care of you. I did. As a lead therapist, I was the one who scheduled people. People would call, but I had to look at that schedule and make sure this one person isn't killing herself. I would not let you do 3 stones, more than 3 stones a day, because they're hot. I mean, it's easy work, but it's the heat. It's not good for you. I wouldn't let one therapist do 3 deep tissues. And I'd never let you do 3 in a row, ever. I left, they've had like 5 or 6 people out for workman's comp because they weren't balancing that schedule. They hurt people. That therapist may have said, well, I want to do, that's all, but they didn't think that this is going to hurt me. I really shouldn't be doing 3 in a row. Even if I want to, I really shouldn't be doing 3 in a row. And most places, full-time is 32 hours because they know it's a very physical job. So you're doing full-time work, it's 32 hours. And then you get all the benefits, right? A lot of therapists, but how you start out is, unless they know you, most people start out at the bottom of the totem pole, right? You don't get the weekends if you're the new guy on the block. That's going to the seasoned therapist. Now, if they're out, they want to go on a vacation, then you get their shift. But you're going to be doing the Monday night stuff first, right? The off-hour kind of stuff. Till they know they can trust you, until they understand how you're going to work with everyone else and they can trust you. All right, so if you have control issues and you're always late, you got to change it. Because the minute those clients start complaining, you're out of there. You're out of there, okay? So you got to be on time. If you're someone who is always defensive, that person accused me of something and I didn't do it, and you start arguing with them, not a good idea. Anything that goes to the front desk, you really don't want that to happen. It's going to happen. There's no way around it because you're dealing with people. But you want it to keep it to where it was, you tried to control it. You did everything you could to control it. Or you just didn't care, and then they'll pretty much figure out if you don't care. You know, it's not a hard thing. It's not an easy thing to hide. You're always sitting in the lounge chair because you kept canceling your appointments. You didn't want... And you can't be a prima donna either. I'm so good. I'm not going to help out. You know, that other person has to do a wrap, but I'm not. I'm going to sit right here and just rest for my next appointment. If that person is running all over the place and they need their products put into that room because they're going from another room to this room and you're sitting there free, you better get your butt up and help, because the other therapist will find some way to get rid of you if you're not helping, right? And you're a prima donna. You don't clean up the room. Oh, you're just going to leave the linens there. So we're going to learn to do that. Sanitation is extremely important. Nobody wants to get a massage in a dirty room or on a dirty table. You got to clean as you go, too. You can't let it build up. All right? Now, if you didn't get the linens into the laundry room, stuff them in a cabinet. Don't leave them laying in the floor in a corner. Don't let the client see anything out of place, right? And you got to do that in 10 minutes. And I'll help you if you have to go to the bathroom, because that comes, you know. I usually would time that because they have to get changed. I explain everything, close the door in there. That's when I run to the bathroom and I come back, right? That minute or two. But that 10 minutes is getting them from the lounge, walking them down to the room, the time that they take to get undressed and dressed, all that is accounted for within that time limit. So you also have to learn how to get people out of the room politely. Get them in there, get them on the table, and get them out, and be polite about it, right? But you got to do it. So I'll be talking to you, but we're walking, honey. We're walking. I got your elbow. You're not going to stand there and talk to me, right? Shake their hand. They got to go. Got to go now. Shake her. That's what you have to do. And that comes, you know, we'll learn that in here, the skills we need to do that. All right. I apologize if anyone had told you wrong about some things of the program, and I hear that they have, so I'll have to have a talk with them. Now, I did have the head guy of the advisors send out a little email to everyone. I don't know if they're going to follow what he sent, but I tried to correct it. When I hear something, if you tell me, I will try to correct it. Okay? There are 6 classes that you need to sign up for. There's 6 of them. Okay? So if you haven't signed up for all 6, please do. Now, the people that could help you with that is Elizabeth Keneally or Janice Stalliard. Those are the 2 people that really are helpful and know the program, and they're in this building, the little health science thing downstairs, but let them help you, okay? Your paperwork, because we are an open enrollment class, I can accept people up until the end of this week. You know, if someone wants to come in tomorrow, I got a seat open, I'll let them come in. It's better if you get it all done in the beginning, but sometimes you can't. So the fingerprinting, background check, those need to be done right away. Because if there's something that comes up on your record, you're going to have to leave the school. And if we find out about that 3 weeks from now, then we have to give you your money back, or I may have to give you an F. I mean, it's just very, very confusing. Up until the end of this week, you just get dropped. There's no problem about it. Now, it may be something that we can work around. We may just need a letter, you know, something of recommendation. And that's come up before, too, that they were allowed to stay. Now, if you do get asked to leave, and don't try to say I was sitting in a car and someone else was smoking pot. We don't believe that one. They will ask you to leave, and then you can come back next year. So you can come back the next year when the program starts over again, and you can reapply, you know, and if your record's clean, then that's fine. If you'll, in the manual, I want you to read it. There's one part in there that says, we make you do a background check and a drug screening in the beginning, but say 4 months from now you come in drunk, I can ask you to go do a screening again. I have the right to do that. It's in the manual that says I can do that. So if you come in here drunk, you are probably going to have to go drop some urine for me, all right? Because if you don't have enough control to do that, there's a problem that you need to resolve. There's a big problem.
So I think I've done everything. Do I just give that all my paperwork to you?
Just give me the receipt. The results are going to go straight to this other department. I never see your results. They will get in touch with you and say you failed this or this was a problem, whatever. Not me. But I have to put the receipt that you got, proof that you did it, in your file.
But like the fingerprints, they gave me an envelope to give you, and then the physical.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. I don't get the results. I just get that. I think the background is done online, right?
Yeah, but
okay.
You print out the...
And you print out, so print that out. Now, that has to get done as soon as possible, by the end of the week, all right? The medical history form, I can be a little more flexible on. We're not going to work with the public until next term. And I know some of it, it's kind of expensive and you go here and you go there, but you need to get that done as soon as possible as well, because we need to know your health status. But you can wait on that. I mean, you could. You could even wait till next term. I wish you wouldn't, but you could wait.
Where can I find the waiver or whatever I have to sign if I wasn't able to get a flu shot?
We don't really have a form. We just ask you to do a little thing and sign it. Say, I
my doctor would not give me the flu shot and then sign.
No, well, you can have your doctor. No, this is a personal belief that you have. So Broward College doesn't have a form that you fill out. You just write up. It's called an acknowledgement, and we put that in your file.
Oh no, my doctor just literally would not give me a flu shot. She doesn't believe in giving people flu shots.
Well, then go to another doctor. Okay? You know, this is so weird. It's not. If you went into a hospital and did an internship, you absolutely would have to do every single thing because the hospital wouldn't let you in. It's not us, it's the hospital. Yeah. You're still dealing with the public, and you're closer to anyone, you're closer than anybody, right, touching them. So you're going to get contagious stuff. You're breathing on them, they're breathing on you, all right? For your own sake and for the people you come into contact with, it's better to do the vaccine. I can't legally make you do it, though. I can't legally make you do it. But you have to acknowledge it, and everyone in the room has to know, I'm working with someone who could possibly kill me. If I caught this from them and it became serious, I could die.
In that case of the flu shot, can I wait until the flu season, like towards the end of the year, or I have to take it now?
You can catch the flu anytime. You can have the flu tomorrow. You come to school, I'm going to send you home because I don't want the flu. And then there you go with that training that day. You have to make it up. It's very disruptive. Please come to class. If your butt falls off, put it in a paper bag and come to class, because you're going to miss the hands-on training as a group that you need to do. Right? You need to do it as a group. So please, 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 please. But that being said, if you're contagious, don't come to school. You have a legitimate reason to stay away from us. You could wear a mask. I mean, you could come and wear a mask. That's fine. One thing that I've tried to do here too, guys, when we go downstairs and look, I have what's called a clean room air purifier. It's what they use in high-tech facilities and in NICUs and things like that. Yeah, it's the highest one you can get. So I've got that in there. So because we're in such close contact with each other, so I do have that going on to clear the germs out of there as much as possible. But if it's contagious, you know, please be courteous. Now, you know what you're going to run into out there in the field? You think that person who has the flu is going to cancel their massage? They'll try to tell you it's allergies. They'll try to tell you everything and anything because they want to get their massage. You're going to make them sicker. You tell them that, they don't care. They don't care that they're going to make you sick too. They don't care.
You get a lot of people like that?
You get people like that, yeah, always.
They don't have a good, you know, common sense conscience?
No, they don't.
I can miss one day.
They don't. So what we kind of do to protect ourselves, that's why we use aromatherapy, you know. Because aromatherapy kills everything. Viruses, molds, mildews, bacteria, kills everything. So you've got that in the air. That's another way you're trying to purify the air, is using aromatherapy. You have what we call right of refusal. For whatever reason, the person is rude, you think that they're, you know, whatever. If you're not able to give the massage to the best of your ability so they get the full value of that massage, you can say no.
Can you use that also if they're sick and you don't want to endanger yourself? All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Without getting in trouble.
Yeah, and then they have the right too. For whatever, they don't like you for whatever reason, you kind of breathe through your nose. Who cares? They don't want a massage from you. They can say, I don't want a massage from you. I want to get someone else. They don't have to give you a reason, right? Please don't pry. Don't say, well, why? What did I do wrong? What did I do? Don't pry. It's none of your business. If they volunteer it, okay. But if they didn't, it's none of your business, all right? If somebody says, I don't want to put my face down on that face cradle, I want a pillow. Am I supposed to say, why? Why not? This is how everybody else does it. You'll really like it. It's very comfortable. No. None of my business. I had someone who I never would have thought anything would be wrong about. This old guy. I gave him massages all the time. And for some reason, stupid me wasn't thinking, you really shouldn't put both hands around someone's neck like this. You know, you'd think that would be, but I don't know what was going through my mind. And I kind of did this to him. And he sat straight up off the table and started hyperventilating. I made him flash on World War II when a German almost killed him. He was almost choked to death. And that simple little move brought all that back to him. PTSD right there on the table.
There's no way of you knowing that.
No, there's no way I would know that, you know, but you have to be very careful.
Yeah.
And then other people, they've got a reason for not putting their face in that cradle. It could be psychological, you don't know. And they're embarrassed, you know. You get this big burly guy and he doesn't want to put his face in a cradle, and it kind of makes him think that it's kind of girly, that he didn't want to do that. But if, yeah, you just say no. They say no and say, okay, I can do this instead. So I have to be versatile. How many of you get massages? You got massage? You get a massage? No? Ever? Well, you're in for a treat. Okay. Did they give you a choice? Did they say, would you like to start face up, face down? Or would I recommend you in sideline because of your shoulder? Yeah. They tell you what they want you to do. That's countertransference. They're making you do their massage. It's not their massage, it's your massage. They need to give you the choice. So you need to be good enough to do face down to start, face up to start, sideline to start. I have to be flexible because people are flexible. I'm not going to let you get into your little comfort zone either. I'm going to be mixing things up. You need to be on your feet, balanced in any situation. It won't matter the situation because it's highly fluid when you work with the public. You might come into work, there's your schedule. In 1 hour's time, it's completely different. Completely different. I plan my day. That's going to screw me up to change. I already know what room I'm going to be in. No. Okay, that's what I have to do now. That's what I have to do now. Somebody comes in all the time and they do this one way all the time. For some reason now they don't want to. They want to do it some other way. Are you going to be able to instantly switch to where they want you to be and not get all weirded out and flustered? Go to other schools too. I am not lying to you. By the end of this term, go and get a massage at another school. You won't believe what they're turning out as therapists, what they think are therapists. You can go pay $125 for a massage and it could be the worst massage you ever had. The price doesn't mean it's going to be good. They don't have a clue. They tell me what to do. And I have all these health issues, and I said, well, I want to be on my side. And he panicked. He didn't know what to say, or oh, okay. And he didn't give me any support pillow. He didn't know. You know, he acted like he did, but he didn't. So I left. He only knew how to do it one way. That's what he was taught. So I'm not going to teach you one way. You're going to know what to do in any situation because they're all going to come up, trust me. They're all going to come up. If it's health related, they really need to be on their side. They got a shoulder problem, they don't need to be flat. They have asthma, they have COPD, they have breathing problems, they don't need to be lying on their chest. Right? Older guys that got the big barrel thing and you thump it to see if it's air. If it's air, don't put them down on their face. They're going to be struggling for every breath they take if they're like that, right? So you need to know how to change it. But you need to give them the choice. Which way would you like to start? And there are pros and cons for either way. Face up or face down. We'll go over the pros. There's no right way, right? It's what the client wants. Then you need to know the science behind it. So in this position, I still have to not hurt them, right? I still have to do it so I don't hurt them. That comes from, it's two things. It's a science and it's an art. The science part is to know what to do, how the body's going to respond and not hurt them. And the art is you're painting a picture of sensations that they're going to experience. And you want that to be a very pleasurable experience. I don't want to say the word sensual because I don't know how people think about that, but their whole body needs to enjoy your touch in a safe way. That's why we're so important, because we are safe touch. We give a safe touch. People need to be touched, but it's a safe one when they come to see us. It's very safe. Okay. So the medical, you can wait, all right? I know it's expensive. You might have to rush out. So don't weird out on that. But the drug background and fingerprinting, please get those done by the end of the week. Okay? Because I will get in trouble if they have to drop you 2 weeks from now. I should have known. Okay. What else? Oh, the certificate classes. The Career Core, which is 75 hours, and then all the little ones, medical errors, domestic. The CPR requirement now is just 4.5 hours. If you did an 8-hour course somewhere, that's fine, but you can do the 4.5 hour now, okay? All of those really need to be done as soon as possible. They do. I mean, you should have done them beginning if you had time. But if you didn't, the CPR, I mean the Health Career Core class, truly you could wait till the end of the year, but it will screw up the financing that is given to the college from the federal government if you don't complete that by the end of the term. They will deny funding for the program, that student in the program, if you don't do it at that time. Because the federal government picks these little classes out to say this is how we're going to judge how your students are progressing, and for some reason they picked that one. I don't know why, but they did. So they are doing it on Saturday, the college here, or you could go to Sheridan Technical Center, and most of their classes are online. You only have to go in maybe 3 days a week. The CPR, you can do it anywhere you want to do it, as long as it's from the American Heart Association or the American Red Cross. You know, some people, if they work in a hospital, they may have done it through the hospital, but you're going to have to let us evaluate that. They're not going to automatically say that's okay. That's really not up to me. That's from them.
Do we have to turn in the certificates we get?
If you did them here at Broward, no, because I'll be able to look in the computer. If you take anything anywhere else, you have to give it to me. What I want from you is a scanned copy. Don't bring it in here in hand to me. You keep the original. Don't ever give anyone an original of anything. Because if we have to question anything, you be able to show them the original, okay? Scan a copy, then that is legally acceptable, a scanned copy. Right? Don't bring in just a photocopy because you could have made it up, right?
Can we email it to you?
Yes, please, as an email attachment. Now you may have, like I said, something from work or some other thing, and you want to find out if it is acceptable. I can give it to them, they can look at it, and they'll tell you if they accept it or not.
So if I already took CPR with American Red Cross, then I can just email it to you?
Yeah, a picture of the front and the back of the card.
And also, like, we don't need our physical certificates from our, like, the other classes you mentioned earlier. We don't need to bring those in.
Only if, you only have to give me a copy if you took it somewhere else.
Okay.
If you took it here, I will know, because I can look in the computer. I don't need that little piece of paper they gave you. But don't lose that piece of paper. I'll tell you what could happen, and hopefully it doesn't, but sometimes it's an adjunct teacher that does those classes, and they only teach that one class, and then the college doesn't keep them on, and then they leave, but they didn't put the grades in. That can be a problem, right? So, but that's the only time. Then they'll do it later, but they'll have someone else put it in. But if it's a Broward course, I don't need that little certificate.
Okay, but like for like the one that I did at American Red Cross, you would need the email and the actual certificate?
No. You send me a scanned copy as an attachment to an email. I will use that scanned copy to give you a waiver. I will fill out this form and send it into the computer people, and they will put it on your transcript. But it can't be just a photocopied thing. And if you got the original, I'll make a copy, but I prefer this. This is the least amount of work for me, and this is a assured way. And then that copy never left your possession, the original, right? So you can't get lost. And then, because I'll tell you right now, things get kind of piled up, and I'm just not the best person at sorting things through. So I would rather not have that responsibility of it being in my possession. It's yours, you keep it, send me a scanned copy. You took it here, don't send me anything. I already know that you took it here. It's okay. Now, the big one, the core class, they technically really want that done by the end of the term. The other little ones, I don't care, do them whenever, right? You can do them at the end of the year, I don't care. But you need to get that one done by the end of this term. Here, it's this Saturday. At Sheridan, I don't know when they start, but I'm sure you could still do it there. Another thing, guys, if you take this here, somebody told me there were 60 students in that class they took this. 60. That's how crowded they are. Yeah. Just one second.
I'm taking it Central Campus, so is that fine? Do I need...
No, that's fine. That's where you have to go. Those are only taught on Central.
It says it starts September 12th, though.
That's okay. That's not the end of this term is when, guys? December 16th. So you got until December 16th, yeah.
So the specific classes, they said like you can take them online, like a few of them.
Yeah.
It wouldn't let me register for it. Did you register for it?
I took them a year ago, but I mean, yeah, they give you the option that other people do it in class. It's online, it's cheaper. The only one you have to do in person is the HCP. That one you can't do online. But the OSHA, the
domestic violence.
Yeah, they offer those online. Maybe I really see if I can maybe I don't know. I took most of my classes, only one online. So it's cheaper. It's cheaper, you save yourself.
All right, she is one of the advisors here. You need to get an advisor because you need to see them at least once every term. You need to see her at the end when you want to graduate. You don't just wait for your transcript to come and then you graduate. They have to actually graduate you. So they look at your records. Do you owe a parking fine? You know, you got a book out, whatever. All that has to be cleared up. So you can't just walk out and think, well, I'm done. She has to graduate you. So you're going to have to see her at least once next term. You should see her now. If you need a class to get into, she can put you in there. I can't. I really hate it. I wish I could still do that, but I can't. So you have to go through advisement. The other one who's really good is Janice Stalliard. And it's G. Don't even try to get them on the phone. You can only imagine that it's probably 30,000 calls a day because they do not just our program, they do other ones too. They need more people, but you know. I can't ever remember her number. Two 115. Now, as far as financial aid goes, these numbers are in your manual. I'm just giving them to you now. The lady that handles, we're handled a little different than the certificate classes because we're a technical program. So there's a lady that does technical programs. Her name is Nancy Balin. I'm not even going to give you her phone number because don't even try. She won't answer. Any communication you do with the college, include your student ID number. If they need to look up your records, you won't have to come in. They can do all this over the phone or an email, really, as long as they can look you up in the computer. Okay, so you have to put your student ID number on there. And I was assured that there are seats on the Saturday core class for you, for the students in this program.
So is it better to speak to, sorry, because I tried to sign up for this and I couldn't allow me to.
Who?
The HCP.
All right, call Elizabeth or Janice and tell them you need to take that class, and it's a requirement by the end of the term, so they got to put you in there. Hello. Whenever we have personnel changes, I think the people leave and then they wait 6 months to hire somebody, so they really don't get any training when they come here. And every time it changes, it goes, you know, down until that person learns what they're doing. They're supposed to keep 20 seats available in all of these classes. They reserve them, and this new person didn't reserve them, but they're supposed to. So they're obligated, they have to give you a course. They're obligated, you know, the college requires it, so. And then if you can't get in, do the one at Sheridan. Now, if you take it off campus, financial aid won't cover it, all right? But if you're paying out of pocket, look at the price of what we charge and look at the price of what Sheridan charges. That core class is the most expensive class you'll take in the entire program. Here it's about $900, including the book. There it's $322, I think. So it's less than half price. And it's easier, it's easier to take. And that's the state of Florida, guys. It is not Broward College. It won't matter where you go. If you're in a public school, the state of Florida will require you to take these classes. It won't be us that says it. I was thinking of putting on maybe just some for just our program that are a little more specific to our program, but I don't know if they're going to approve that or not, because they kind of want it to be generic to all health sciences. So say you wanted to come back and be a nurse or whatever, you know, all that kind of stuff, it's the same.
Do you happen to know if Palm Beach State College offered these same classes just in case we cannot register for some reason?
They would have to.
They do, because I believe they have the massage therapy program.
They do,
too.
yeah.
So
But like I said, those certificate classes are open for all health sciences, not just massage. And I don't know if they've embedded it in their program or not, to where you'd have to be a student to take theirs. I don't know. So you could call and ask. You could call and ask Miami-Dade. They have a massage program. They might offer it there too. It may be embedded, it may not, I'm not sure. So call around. I've done a lot of calling around, and believe me, Sheridan's the best deal going out there. Price-wise and everything else. It's really, really good. And it's a Broward County school. It's in the Broward County school system. I wouldn't recommend you go to a private school. You'll be sorry. They get their hand in your pocket and they don't take it out, right? They'll give you an education, only the basics, because they want you to come back and pay for all the extras, right? How much are they? You guys shopped around? How much are those private schools charging? Unbelievable. How they can justify that, I don't know. I really don't. That's a heck of a lot of debt to be over your head when you're first starting out as a massage therapist. I think it's terrible. The state really can't do anything about it. It's a private school. It can charge whatever it wants, right? And they do it like that too, because then they'll give you private financing. You know, they have a finance company that does private, to make it easy for you, right? Once you get your name on that contract, you owe them that money. Here, you drop out, you only pay for the classes you enrolled in. That's it. That's all you do, okay? There's no paying up front or anything like that. It's pay as you go, and it's only for what you enrolled in, okay? So everybody all clear on the certificate courses? Okay, if you have a question, call me or contact me later. You need to register for something, go through Elizabeth or Janice. You know, try it on your own, but 9 times out of 10, trying to do it through your web page, it ain't gonna work, right? It may not even show up in the schedule, but there may be seats in it. She'll know. I won't, you won't, but she'll know, okay? And like I said, there's a new lady down there, and I don't know who she is. I gotta find out and get with her and make sure that everything's okay with them down there. And make sure that they know that you have to do this, but it's not a prerequisite, so you have until the end of the term. And you're not a big class, it's 20 people for heaven's sakes, right? It's not like you're 50 people. So, no paperwork to me if you took it here. If you took it somewhere else, I have got to get a scanned copy or you will not get credit for it. It won't show up on your transcript. You got to get credit for it. It has to be on the transcript, okay? Anything to do with registration, what it takes to graduate, Elizabeth and Janice are the 2 women you should go to. And they're both here. You don't have to go back over to the other building. They're downstairs. Do make an appointment. I mean, you could do a walk-in, but they're pretty well booked. I mean, it's kind of hard to get a walk-in appointment with them. And then Nancy would be the person for financial aid for our program. You can really talk to anybody you want to, but a lot of times they're going to give you misinformation because they think nursing, that's all they think is nursing. Now, moving on to the next requirement is the TABE test. Anybody know what this TABE test is? T-A-B-E. Oops, all right. Medical history forms, I would like them within 6 weeks, but if for some reason you got a good reason that you can't do it within the first 6 weeks, so it's okay. It's okay. I really don't need it exactly until the clinic opens, because you and I are going to fill out some little forms that tell each other what's on your health and all that kind of stuff before we touch each other. We're going to do a medical history form in class, okay, so we're going to kind of know. This one is a test for adult, what is it? Something like that, anyway. This is offered here, it's free. We have a testing center over in the admissions building 46, it's upstairs, across from the financial aid. On this campus, you don't need an appointment. You go to South Campus, you do. I don't know if you need one downtown or not, but on this campus, you don't. You can walk in and take it, okay? You can take it on any campus. It doesn't have to be here. But here, you don't need an appointment. It's free everywhere, okay? It's not that hard to test. The English and reading is on a 10th grade level, high school 10th grade. The math is on a 9th grade level, high school level, okay? Now, if you've done the SAT and the, what's the other one, the CPT or the ACT test, and your score was at a certain level, I can accept that, and you don't need to do the TABE. So if you have done that some other way, let me know. If you've been to college and did an English college 1101, got a C, MAT 1028, and got a C, you don't need to do this, okay? But you have to tell me. I'm not going to sit there and go through everybody's transcript. Elizabeth certainly isn't going to do that. It could be in there, but she's not going to go looking for it. Let her know. Send her a text. I took English 1101, and she will give you credit. She'll look up your record. She'll see it in your transcripts. She will give you the waiver for the TABE, okay? If you've done the ACT or whatever those things, let Elizabeth know, this is my score, and she will let you know, okay?
If we did in another states, is it okay, right? I'm from Washington, D.C., so I did all my stuff in D.C., and I got military.
All right, there is, we have an international advisor. He's very, very sweet.
Washington, D.C. College.
It's on your medical records? Is that what you're saying?
No, I have also my military record, and I have college experience also from DC. I have the English 101.
If that's in your transcript, it'll be in your record, and she can look it up, and she'll give you credit for it.
Okay.
Guys, if you do anything out of the United States, if your high school diploma, you did that in another country, the English and the math, and if it's out of the country, you have to have that evaluated. We have an international advisor who will help you with all this stuff. He'll help you, okay? Don't try to do it on your own. But that would have another step in the process where it's evaluated to see if we give you credit for it. So, but don't talk to anybody else. Talk to him. If you need his name, let me know. The advisor, there's one guy who does this. He's very sweet. He's very good. He'll help you, okay? Take this. Now, if you don't pass it, say you don't pass the math, you have until the end of the year to do it again. Now, if you still haven't passed it, you're just not going to graduate until you do. This is a requirement from the state of Florida and the United States Department of Education. They require this, okay? This you have until the first 6 weeks of class to do. You have to take it at least once within the first 6 weeks. Then take however long you need to do it if you need to redo it, right? 6 weeks. Any campus. Here it's, you know, no appointment. Other places, yes. But by the end of the 6 weeks, I need this in your record, okay? And that, you don't need to bring me anything. You pass it, they'll give you a sheet, a score thing, but they'll also put it in the computer. Now, when you go in there, please be sure you tell them it's for the massage program. Those are just, work study students. They don't know. And they'll probably give you the nursing one. You don't want to take the nursing one. You want to take ours, okay?
So, if I have the ACT or the 1101, I just need to get a waiver from her.
Send that information to Elizabeth. Give her your student ID number. She'll go in, look at your records. She'll see it there. She'll email you back and tell you that you got credit for that. Okay? So everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
If I already took the English course, can I just take like the math portion of the TAB test or something?
If you have English, 1101, you got to C or higher, you don't have to do that. You don't have a 1028 for the math, you got to take the math.
Okay.
There's 3 sections to it. There's English, reading, and math. And you can do either of those 3 or all of them. It's all according to what you've got in your record, right? So if your SAT is through the roof and you've got really good, you don't have to take it. I have a little chart. I could email you the chart, but just tell her you took it and she'll look it up. Okay? So that has to get done. Remember the medical history? It's okay, I can wait till the end of the term, but before we let you in the clinic, I really need to have you cleared. But we need the drug screening, we need the fingerprinting, we need the background check now. I don't want any original paperwork put in my hot little hands. You keep it. You send me a scanned copy. That's all I want.
Of everything?
You got your fingerprinting thing? Mm-hmm. Send me a scanned copy. I don't want the original.
Yeah, they close the envelope though. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They tell us to give it to you.
Make a picture of the envelope. I don't need to see what's in there. If there was something wrong on that, they would call you. You know? I don't need to know your dirty laundry. I don't need to know what you got in trouble about. I don't care. I don't want to know. I just need to know you did it. That's all I need to know. They'll know what you did when you were 14, but I won't. I don't care. And if there is something that they will let you come in, but you need to get maybe a letter of recommendation or proof that you went into a drug rehab and you stayed the whole time, whatever. There are things that they will work with you with, okay, on that. If they ask you to leave, then you can come back next year. Anybody? Get your hands up? Okay. What else? Moving on. That's another requirement, TABE. I think that's it. Background, fingerprinting, drug, medical history, certificates, TABE. That's it, right? Okay. Do you smoke cigarettes? Raise your hands. Thank God. Okay. You have to disclose that, because if I'm that close to you giving you a massage, I'm probably going to smell it. It's going to come out your pores. It's going to be on your clothing. There's nothing you can do about it. A lot of people don't want to be that close to cigarette smoke, right? And they're not going to want to work on you. So if you do smoke cigarettes, you have to let us know. That may mean everybody in the class doesn't want to touch you. Then we got a problem. But if you go out and work somewhere, you have to tell the client before you get in that room with them alone that you smoke cigarettes. Would that bother them? So just imagine you go to work at some spa and they put you on the schedule, and every single person that comes in there says they don't want you touching them because you smoke cigarettes. It's going to hamper you in your job. A lot of places it's a requirement that you don't smoke cigarettes. You think, okay, I'll just do it on my own time when I go out to a bar on Friday night. Do you think it's not going to be coming out your pores Monday? You don't smell it. You're used to it, right? I smell it a mile away. I don't want to be anywhere near you if you smoke. And it will keep you from getting good jobs, because people don't like it. They don't like it. So if you don't, everybody says, okay, but if you did, I would recommend you start like weaning yourself off now. The worst thing that ever happened once was some girl had somebody in a body wrap, and they were supposed to stay in the wrap for 10 minutes. She went out back and smoked a cigarette and came back in. The person on the table freaked out. She almost vomited. It bothered her so much. So please don't do that. Please don't do that. It's kind of hard to get hairdressers to quit smoking because they're heavy smokers, you know. But that's a little different story. People don't really mind it as much. But they do in a closed room with the door closed. They don't like it at all. So you really can't hide it. How about if you drink a lot? How about if you go out and get really drunk on a Saturday night and you have to come in Monday morning for work? How do you think you're going to smell? It's still going to be pouring out of your pores, right? Most of places, I don't care how the air conditioning be down at 62, you're going to sweat because you're working. You're going to, and a lot of times it's nervous sweat. I sweat. I don't care. It could be 60 degrees. I sweat. I have to wear a headband. I would smell really bad if I had alcohol pouring out of my pores, too. You have to understand what that is going to do to your work, how it's going to affect your work, okay? 2 days really isn't enough to get it out of your system if you got really, really drunk. And some idiot's going to say, well, I drink vodka because you can't smell it.
Doesn't it take a full 7 days to get it all out of your system?
Now, this is a problem for us because if you work in a resort, well, I worked in resorts, people are on vacation, they're encouraged to drink because the hotel makes money off of their drinking. Nobody should be drinking alcohol 2 hours before they get a massage or 2 hours after. It's going to make them have a terrible hangover. They could be sick. But we can't say no in a resort because the hotel wants them sitting out by the pool having a cocktail before they get called in for their massage. Okay, so you're going to have to deal with it. They're going to come in there drunk sometimes. But if they're obnoxious, they're falling all over you, they're calling you sweetie and honey and trying to grab your butt, you don't have to do a massage for them, okay? We had one girl, she threw up and then she passed out on the table. We couldn't rouse her. She was there for 2 hours. She got charged for 2 hours for being in that room. But,
and you got a nice break.
And I got a nice break. It was great. It was great. She woke up and she didn't remember the. I said, your massage was fantastic. You don't remember? You asked me to book you again next week. Remember? So drinking, in some situations, you're not going to be able to avoid it. You know, but you should tell people it really doesn't mix well with what we're doing because we're going to stir up the liver and helping the body to detox, and it's putting an extra strain on them, and it will feel kind of like a hangover. And if they're going to get a hangover, it's going to be worse because what we did, right? So alcohol doesn't mix too well. If they're a heavy smoker, and we can't, you know, your company can't say you can't smoke and come to my spa. You're going to have to deal with it. Now, can you tolerate? That's going to be a personal choice of yours. And the spa really can't do much about it if you say, you know, I'll be in there gagging the whole time I'm trying to massage them. I don't think they're going to enjoy that if I'm gagging.
Can you wear a mask?
Yeah, you definitely could. That's not going to help the aromas. You know, that's not going to help that. But yeah, if you even in here, if you feel kind of sick and you want to still come to class, I may have to do it if I have asthma. I have asthma. I still want to come. I'll wear a mask. That's okay. Just don't try to let the client see you wear a mask. Okay. You can wear gloves too. You know, you don't want to touch those nasty feet with your bare hands. Okay, wear a glove. But don't be pulling them on as you're talking to the person. That's going to make them think, oh, you know, what's wrong with you? And then I feel terrible because you don't want to touch me. What did I do wrong? When they get on the table and they're face down, then you can suit up. I don't care, right? Take it off before they get back off the table. Crank up the aromatherapy in the room. Put a little Vicks Vapor Rub right there, whatever. But if it's really something that you feel offensive, you know, people have allergies to tobacco. I mean, it's an actual allergy. That's something you have to deal with in the work environment that you're in. Now, if you're getting private clients on the phone call, most jobs start with a phone call. You're going to have certain questions you ask them. And if you feel that strongly about it, you can ask them, do you smoke? And tell them, I have a very difficult time. I have an allergy to tobacco. And then you're going to have to send them somewhere else, right? As much as you'd like their business, you don't want to be in there gagging over them while they're getting a massage. And you don't want to be going like this trying to give them a massage either. That's not good to them. So if they're You know, their behavior could be off, and then that's not your job to correct. You're in that room and you're doing a massage here in the clinic. It's never happened, but it could happen. If someone is offensive to you in any way, you just say, excuse me, and you leave, and you come get me. You don't try to deal with them. You know, please don't touch me like that again. I don't like that. No, you just say, excuse me, and you come get me. Okay? At the Marriott, you'd think this would never happen. We have there's a club there where people pay $30,000 to belong. Club members, they come in for a massage. One old guy, he just couldn't help himself. I mean, he just couldn't not touch the girls. And they had to make him leave. Believe me, they didn't want to do that. That's a lot of money. You sure you can't stand it? No, get him out of here. So it's going to happen, you know, so that's okay. Just know it's going to happen and don't get all freaked out. If it's your own private client, then you have to deal with it yourself. But if you're working somewhere, you're in the school here, you don't do it. Let me do it. Body odor. It could be body odor not from drinking, right? People just have very strong body odor. Some medications make your body smell, okay? And diet. Who eats a lot of onions in here? Onion, garlic. What do you think your skin smells like?
Alien.
Onions and garlic.
Onions and garlic. You eat curry, you smell like curry. That's going to be offensive. You may have to make changes to your diet when you're working. 48 hours, you should be okay after you eat that, but you can't eat a whole big plate of garlic and onions the night before you come into work and not expect to smell like onions and garlic, right? Have to be aware of it. You can't wear strong perfume. And I know guys who got to douse themselves with the cologne too, so men or women, either way, you can't go in there smelling strongly because that person may have an allergy to that. They don't like it, so I just don't wear it. You come into work, you don't wear jewelry, you got to take it off, you might lose it, somebody might steal it. In your manual it says when you come in here, don't bring valuables. No watches, jewelry, don't bring a lot of money in here. Don't stuff your wallet and you want to show off or something, don't do it. Somebody could steal it. And sometimes it's the least person you would have ever accused or thought they would do it. It'll be them that took your money. I had somebody lose a $400 bracelet in here. So, just, you know, lost, I used that word loosely. It wasn't lost. She lost it because somebody else found it. And you think it's okay if I put it in my book bag, but you may be over here doing something at the sink, or you may, you know, you're not watching it 24/7 when it's in here. Now everybody tells you don't leave your valuables in the car. I'm going to say that's probably the safest place for them when you're in this program. Lock them in your trunk. Don't come in here with a bag full of valuable jewelry or money.
Keep it at home.
Just keep it at home. That would be the best thing. And don't wear the jewelry. Jewelry's nice, but jewelry doesn't go well with what we do. Because you have to take it off, right? You have to take it off. Fingernails, ladies. I have to see skin at the end, and I have to be able to tap your finger and not feel a nail. You scratch them, you break the skin, you can get sued. You're working at somewhere like Marriott, they're not going to sue you. Who are they going to sue? Yeah, they got deep pockets. Very deep pockets, you know. And they caught some rare South American jungle rot disease because you broke their skin. So it has to be below. No nail polish. You may not smell the nail polish, but nail polish smells. And it flakes off. All you want to do is give somebody an eye infection because a little flake of your fingernail polish got in their eye. And that means clear too. Buff them, no polish. Men, buff them, no polish. Okay? If you're a nail biter, you got to quit. No nail biting. You're going to get infections, right? Chew on something else besides your nails. Chew on, I don't know, elbow, whatever. Get a pencil, chew on the pencil. Don't chew on your nails, right? When we're in class up here, you can dress however you like, but we're in the lab. In your manual, there's a certain dress code I have for you. Not a particular thing you have to do. You don't have to get the uniform until next term when we start going off campus. It's not for the classroom. And when we have clinicals, when they come here. But otherwise, you have to dress comfortably in clothes that are easy to get in and out of and easy to move around in. T-shirts are perfect. The pants have to have elasticized tops. They can't be a waistband. They can't have a zipper and belt loops and all that. So jeans are out.
Are leggings okay?
Or what?
Leggings.
Part of your dress code is no tight or revealing clothes. This is not an environment you want to be alluring. You don't want to be, doing your attractive thing to entice males to your presence. You don't want that in the massage club.
Shorts are okay?
The shorts, men or women, have to be what we call walking shorts. If you put your hand down to your side, the end of the shorts has to be down to your finger. Don't wear stuff that comes up to here. Right? You can't show your midriff. You got a nice top, but it only comes down to here. Because you're bending over, you're moving all over the place. You need to look really conservative. Most places where you work, they're going to want you to be conservative. I know the public opinion about us is that we're airy-fairy, we're hippies, but in the real world, we're the most conservative profession you've ever seen. No weird hairdos, no jewelry, no tattoos. A lot of places men can't wear a beard, no facial hair. They're very strict. You need to blend into the background. You don't need to be standing out. And tattoos, they're going to want you to cover them.
When you're talking about tattoo, I just want to add something. In Japan, you cannot have a tattoo. You need to go to have a massage in a massage parlor. No tattoo is allowed. You need to go to the swimming pool.
Yeah. Just letting you know, it's a conservative way that they want. So in your speech, if you like to cuss, that's cute, that's fun, but don't do it in here, and don't do it on the job.
So you said no waistbands, right? Only the elasticity?
Elastic or the tie, the little string tie. Yoga pants are perfect. Sweatpants are perfect. The spa, the scrub pants that are here, they fit very badly.
Are sweats okay?
Yeah, sweats are perfect. So if you don't want to buy the pants up there, okay, you can wear something else, black, but it has to be elastic or a drawstring in the top.
No jeans.
No what?
No jeans, even for men.
No jeans. You can't bend and move around in a jean. You can't squat and all that. That's too tight. It hurts the stomach.
When do you want us to start dressing like that? Where?
Probably next week. You're going to know how to do a massage next week. Do you believe me? You trust me?
Yeah.
You can. We are. You're not going to take your clothes off either. It's going to be a shiatsu kind of thing with pressure, but you're going to be doing it. You'll be doing it.
Aren't like yoga pants kind of revealing like they're tight kind of?
I'm not sure which ones you're talking about.
I don't know. I thought they were. I don't wear them. I was just asking.
Those are, well, some people wear leggings in there, but just remember, if it's tight and it's revealing, don't come in here wearing it. Because I will not have a little discussion. Why did you do it? What? Bye. Because you go on a job, that's what's going to happen. Bye. We'll call you if we want you to come back. Because you just ruined my whole day's schedule. Now I got to find people to cover your schedule. Don't call me. They're going to talk to you like that. I'm going to talk to you like that. So you don't feel this break between being treated nicely in the real world. This is how they treat you. This is how you need to not lose your cool. But you knew the dress code. You're not 10 years old. I'm not your mother. I'm your coach. You show up for practice. You're not ready to get on the field. Go home.
Would a loose skirt be okay? If it would be long enough, it wouldn't matter.
No, because you're going to be bending and stooping and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I have skirts.
You're going to be doing what we call an archer stance, which is like this. You're going to have to open your base. I don't think
Are you talking about like the long skirt?
a sari or anything like that. No.
I have like, well, I also have just plain skirts that just go all the way down, but they're loose. So
You can't maneuver around in those.
okay.
You really can't. And you'd never be able to wear them out in a job somewhere.
Oh, that depends on.
Trust me. Maybe, but probably not. But you need to be able to do like this and bend over and squat down, and you're going to trip over that dress if you do that, because it's going to be on the ground. And you stand up and, then we're not going to trip. Okay. Loose clothing. I'm not kidding you. I'm serious as a heart attack. Don't have a top that comes down to here and you're letting everyone see your décolleté because you're proud of it. No. No, no, no. Right? Maybe you got some new jewelry in your navel. You want to show it off. I don't care. Don't do it. Don't do it. Please. Okay? Shoes. They have to be full shoes. Crocs are nice, but Crocs don't have the back. Full shoes. Very good sole. The sole has to have some kind of ripple to it. It can't be the flat, shiny soles because you're going to slip and fall down in those shoes. You need to be comfortable. No sandals, right? No Crocs. Tennis shoes are the best thing, but they could be nursing shoes. I have nursing shoes. They could be nursing shoes. But you want a good support. Everything begins with your feet.
Can we have a finger shoes?
A what?
Finger shoes or toe shoes, where you have all your toes, like it's kind of small.
The vibras and
Yes.
like finger socks. Or I mean,
They're
not
like sneakers, but
they're like
fits around every toe.
Every toe.
If you want to. That doesn't sound comfortable to me, but
It's very comfortable.
is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good for standing and stuff.
As long as it covers the whole foot and it has a support and it's non-skid. Okay.
Are Converses okay?
Yeah. Yeah. I think the idea behind the law was that you had protection if you dropped something on your foot. So the really thin, just those little, that really isn't going to, but we're not going to drop things on our feet in here. It's very rare that we are. It's just to have the protection on the foot. And I'm more concerned that you've got the support for your arch inside that shoe than anything else. And if you have bad feet, you need to think about getting some of those little orthotics for your shoes because you're going to be on your feet a lot. A lot, okay?
Maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
For what?
That we need to dress like that.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to be up here probably Monday and Tuesday, but we might be downstairs doing anatomy. Who knows? Just be prepared, okay? If you want to be prepared, just wear your loose lab clothes all the time. And I don't care what's on it. It just can't be offensive. You could have pictures on it, you could whatever, but it can't be offensive. And that goes for shoes, too. I've seen some shoes that had things written on them that really weren't polite, okay? Has to be polite. But a t-shirt, a scrub. Scrubs are great because they got pockets. You got pockets for everything, right? They're the best. The uniform, you don't have to wear that until we go off campus, but if you want to wear it every day to class, you can. Some schools make you wear it to class every day. They make you buy like 3 of them. I don't care. The top has to be from our bookstore for the scrub because it has the insignia on it. You can not buy those pants up there, and I wouldn't blame you. You could get something else, and it could be black or the blue. That blue's, it's royal blue, but if you can't match it up, it could be black. So these are just stretchy pants. There's an elasticized waist, and they're not clinging to my leg, so they're okay. They're the right length, and that would be fine.
And then you can have the scrubs top.
You need the college scrub top because it's got the insignia, and it identifies you as a student here.
So if we want to start wearing, we can.
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Sounds easier.
Yeah, it does. It's much easier. I didn't want to, make you do it because then you maybe have to buy 2 of them by the end of the year, but it's up to you. And it doesn't really have to be brand new or fancy, any of this. Go to a Goodwill store and get some old t-shirts, throw them in the washer with bleach and wear those. It doesn't really matter, as long as it's not revealing in any way. Okay? Because that reflects on the program and the fellow students and everybody else about how you look, how you dress. Okay? I will try to give you time where you get a massage once a week, at least once a week. You personally get a massage. Maybe more. We'll try to work it out. But I will always make sure that that's put into it somewhere, sometime for you. We'll have the public come in next term. If you have friends and family that you want to practice on, bring them in. I'll stay late. You can stay late, whatever, do it on the weekend. Maybe some days when we don't have other people, they could come up and you could work on them. That's fine. Massages here are free. They're free. The school won't let me charge. I don't want to charge, Other schools want to charge. I heard some school is up to $90 a massage for a student massage. Now that's greedy, if you ask me.
Must be those private schools.
It is. It's one of those private schools. $90. Most of them are 35, 40, something like that for a school massage. You want to get grossed out, go up to Atlantic Institute and get a massage there. I had to leave. I had to quit. The guy was doing this pressure thing on my temples. I could feel the headache starting, and he thought that was okay to do. Yeah, I just didn't know what, didn't have a clue. It was very sad. And the Margate, right across the street, you ever been in there? You have to go into the bathroom to change, to get naked, and you come out with your sheet around you and you go over to the chair. And the smell from the nail tech place and the hair chemical, the whole building smells like that. The whole building. So you're in there getting a massage and you're gagging on the fumes from acrylic nails and hair dye. There's no filter for that room. And the noise, you know, you hear everybody talking and walking up down the hall, clack, 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 clack. It's all in there. It's all in there. And then the massage you get, you'll wish you hadn't, but go. You'll see. I do have a weekly schedule for you. I couldn't get the printer to work. It's a new printer. So I'll have that for you tomorrow. Now, tonight what I want you to do is read your manual, go through it. There are some forms in there that you have to sign, okay? So once you've done your manual, tomorrow when you come in, I will just inspect it to make sure you've got it. And then if I need to make a copy, I will. But hang on to that. But I need to see that you have signed that because, as you can see, we're going to have a camera in here. And we're going to be recording. I may take pictures of everybody, especially if you look really funny with gook all over your face. I won't take your picture, but I'm sure somebody will, and you'll be on Facebook probably. But I need your permission because I do like to take pictures when we go off. Like if we do the multiple sclerosis bike ride, I like to take pictures of you guys down there. Now there's one that I would like for you to do, but you would have to do it strictly as a volunteer because the school, we can't organize that. It's in Orlando. It's the Disney Marathon. They do it every year. It's January, I think it's the 6th. It's 4 days. It starts on Thursday, runs through Sunday. You can volunteer. There's a form you can do online. You can do one day. You can do all the days. I usually do Sunday. Now, if you're doing that as a class, you would wear your scrubs. You should have your scrub by January, but if you don't, that's okay. But if you want to go, you would have to do that as a volunteer. Now, they'll give you a ticket to Disney World. You know, you get a free ticket. They give you these really nice windbreakers, really nice T-shirts. So the price of the ticket is what these days? $100 or something like that, right?
If you're a Florida resident.
No,
what, $99?
Yeah, if you're not a resident.
Yeah.
No, I know that's what, yeah.
So that's a pretty good deal. They'll give you a free ticket for coming up and volunteering. And it's great experience. You're going to be working on people from all over the world. All over the world they come to that race. Now if you don't have a table, I have portable tables that we could take up there for you if you want to go. Usually we can get a really good room rate. You know, if 4 of you don't mind going together in a room, it probably wouldn't cost you very much. And if you just do one day, you're only going to pay for what? Dinner and stay somewhere where they have free breakfast and then come back.
And the water all day is quite expensive. Just the bottle of water is $4.
Yeah. Well, if 4 people go, we usually pay, you know, maybe $50 each at the most, you know. If you don't mind cubbying up. If you want a room to yourself, then okay, and then it's going to cost more. But if you get 2 king-size beds, most of them have 2, right? 2 beds. That's 4 people.
Well, and even with that, you can always request for a cot to be
Yeah.
brought in, and that way you have another bed you can share with 5.
The thing is, you probably aren't going to sleep because everybody. I hate going up there and supervising because I'm trying to listen, you know, and the people are running up and down the sidewalks and cars are starting and like 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm going, you know, you got to get up at 5:30, right? You know you got to get up because you have to get there before the race and you have to get there and set up. So you got to get your butt up in the morning and it's cold. It's cold in January. And get over there by 5:30. So you can stay up all night if you want, but you better show up that morning, you know, so don't get drunk. It's okay, don't get drunk. But usually they're in, you can hear them bouncing on the bed. So you have a lot of fun. I'll show you some pictures of the races that we did.
Where can you go online for the volunteer form?
just put in Disney Marathon 2015 and it'll come up. I have a link for you. I'll send you the link. Then the multiple sclerosis bike ride is, like we said, in the spring. I need to find out. They moved it to March. Hopefully they'll move it back. There again, you can do 1 day, you can do 2 days, whatever you want to do. We probably are going to have money for that because we are going to be a club in here, and we can sell soap, we can sell aromatherapy bags with the salts, and we can do chair massage, $1 a minute. Although you know it's been $1 a minute for 30 years. I think it should go up, don't you? It should be more than $1 a minute. And then we could pay for that one with our fees. Now that's close enough to where we don't really have to stay overnight. It's in the Keys. It's a ride, but it's okay. It's the first key. It's Key Largo. Yeah, and they're usually in that Marriott there, and we're inside. They have a big room so you're not out in the hot sun. One time we were, and that wasn't so bad because we were right by the pool and an awning. But we just need to drive down there and do it, and then we could come back the next day. I mean, that night. We don't have to stay over. If you did want to stay over, we could do a tour of some spas down there, which I'd like to do. Now, they don't give you any shirts or anything. You know, they do feed you. Not as good as it used to be. Bobby Rubino's restaurants used to cater it. And that was pretty good. But I don't think he does anymore. But there's going to be food there all day long, so you don't have to worry about food while you're there. And hopefully you can volunteer for that. Now, during the year, I try not to overwhelm you with this. We never do more than 5 in a whole year. But if there's some charity that you feel very closely related to or very strongly about, or something, you know, your church or something is doing, let me know, and if we can work it out, we'll go. You know, the whole class doesn't have to go. We just need a couple of people to make sure that you're not going to be killed. Now, here on campus, they did this thing where we went around and did massages for the students and the faculty on each campus. And she paid us $60 an hour, so we made $180 for each one. We did like 5 of them. And that was a lot of money. So that bought the gift at the end of the year for the past students. If it's a charity, we don't charge. We're trying to help them raise money. So I try to do a Relay for Life every year for the breast cancer thing, and then we charge money for that, but then we give that to them. We're not there to make money. But if you want us to come out and work on your employees, give them an Employee Appreciation Day, it's going to cost you. Usually it's $60 an hour, and that's, you know, 10 students, 5 students, whatever, they're going to pay $60 an hour. Now, if we think the traffic would bear a little more, we'll charge them a little more, right? Because you're worth it. You're worth it. Now, you as an individual person cannot get any money. The law says you cannot get paid for your massage unless you're licensed. But the club can earn money because you're not going to be handed a $10 bill. It goes into the club, and the club will buy you oil, it will buy you hand sanitizer, it can get you some aromatherapy, maybe some bong or whatever. We'll decide on what you want as a group, and that's what you'll get. Now at the end of the year we do what they call a pinning ceremony here. Nobody wears a pin. We'll do a little thing at the end of the year for, you know, this person did great, that person did great. But because I worked at the Marriott, I can get the cabanas for a really cheap price. So what we do is we go over there for the day, get like 5 cabanas for the day, and hang out at the jacuzzi, go on the beach, play volleyball or whatever. And usually we're able to buy 1 meal there. But there's, I mean, you can go down to, there's a Subway right down the street, there's a McDonald's, but we usually have enough money that we can all sit together at the bar right there and have a meal at the Marriott. And it's all according to what day we go up there, how we do this, whether or not we can go into the spa pool and into the spa, to the hot tubs. If it's really, really crowded, she's probably not going to let us do it. But we're going to at least do a tour, so you'll get to see what it's like in there. And I want to go back at some point and let you guys work on their therapist, so you'll see what it feels like to go into a spa, have a treatment room all to yourself with the door closed, and work with someone. And then she's going to call you back because you were so good, right? I have a lot of therapists. I just got 3 of them hired over there because she knows that she can trust me. And she wants to, because you're going to know how to talk to the people, you're going to know how to act around the people. That's real important. That's real important. and how to do things on time. Time is at first your enemy. You try to fit it all into a certain time. But after you learn how to do it, you'll see that that's not the case. Time is really a good thing. But the number one thing you have got to learn to do is keep your massage to the schedule. They booked 50 minutes, they get 50 minutes. You might have wanted to do a whole bunch of more stuff, be nice to that person. You can't, because there's somebody else waiting. You make that first one 15 minutes late, everybody else is late the rest of the day. So you don't just have one person mad, the first person that got stood up, the rest of your schedule got stood up. And you know your spa director is going to be standing there like this at the end of your shift before you get out the door. And they're going to want to know why. They had to listen to 5 different people complain about you and whether or not they should keep you. They can let you go anytime. So you want them to remember you fondly, right? Not you're the one they remember because you were always causing problems. And I know this is illegal, but I'm just going to tell you right now, they keep track. A spa director moves around. They might work here 5 years, but that's about it. They go somewhere else. They try to go up the ladder too. But they don't go far. I mean, my first spa director, Tina Vandegrift from the PGA, she's up in Orlando. I still know where she's at, you know. So if you piss them off and then 3 years later you go to apply here, there they are. Or their best friend, oh, they know all about you. But they tell each other, okay? And they do this thing where it's a red light, green light, or yellow light. You don't want to be a red light. Some things they can't put in, like they can't tell you, but it's something a spa director really wants to know about you. So they do. You put on your resume, you worked here, 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 they're going to call. Or they might just call, you know, it's not on here, but do you know this name? You ever heard of this person? They want to check up on you, right? Because all that spa needs is a sexual harassment suit against it. You know, one of the best therapists I've ever seen, I loved his massage, he was great, but he just couldn't stop flirting with the women. He never put his hands on them, but he made them feel uncomfortable. And it was so out of control, the idiot did it in a couples massage with her husband standing right there. The next thing you know, here comes 2 security guards, politely escorted him off site. They'll worry about who said what and when later. You're out of there. I was standing right there. I heard what he said. I knew that he was flirting with her. She acted innocent, but her husband was like ready to punch his lights out. You know, you have such a beautiful accent. What part of the Caribbean are you from? And it went downhill from there. Downhill from there, okay? You have to be careful. You really, really do. So you don't want to get in the... And they have to be careful because they don't want to get sued. You know? We don't usually get sued for hurting people. I mean, look it up. There's hardly any. The 2 things that we do get sued for is we did a stone massage and we burned them. We put a hot pack on them and we burned them. Or we let them fall off the table. That's it. If they don't like your massage, they don't sue you. They just go somewhere else, right? So we don't get sued for that. But in a spa, if you burn somebody, they're going to sue the hotel, right? And if you've ever caused any problems like that, trust me, everybody else that runs hotels knows about it. They know about it.
But if the person fell off the table, but the person was drunk at the time, it's still our fault.
I'm sorry, what?
If this individual was drunk at the time, it's still our fault.
If they're drunk? No.
They didn't fall over the table.
Let me ask you this. When you got massages out there in the real world, did they ask you, would you like for me to help you up? Or did they help you up? Or did they just say, please get dressed and come out here? What did they say?
Just let you do your own stuff.
Then they're legally responsible if you hurt yourself. You have to say, would you like me to help you? And they can say no. That was their choice. They fall. It's not my fault. If you looked on their health history and you saw they had low blood pressure, you look at them on the table and they're still kind of like this, or their thing is, help them up. Don't even ask them. because it's your responsibility. Their blood pressure's low, they're going to faint. I'm not going to take the chance, especially if they had a body treatment where every single bit of their body was wrapped and the temperature was changed. It's going to be more of a effect than just a massage, but I don't want you to get hurt. You're an elderly person and you have any doubts in your mind that they're not going to be able to do it for themselves, do it for them. Don't just say, I'll be right outside, I'll have some water for you, come out when you're ready. Because if anything happens between that time and you give them the water, you're responsible. But if they said no, then okay, all right, good luck. I had that happen in rehab once. We did mainly elderly people in the rehab. The poor guy had a trophy wife who really didn't like him, and she didn't like having to bring him to his therapy, so she would always go somewhere and shop while he was in there. So they would always be in a bad mood, right? He wasn't in a happy mood. And we're walking him around and we said, let's help you up, because he was on an exercise mat, you know. No, I can do it. Okay. He got one leg off the table, kind of halfway up, and he fell back and he cracked a rib. He wasn't that upset about it. We called the paramedics. But then his wife shows up and she's freaking out. She's going to sue us, blah, blah, blah. There was 20 witnesses. We asked him and he said, no, it ain't our fault. It ain't our fault. They make the choice, right? They make the choice. Now in here, if we're practicing, you might be on the table for 2.5 hours if we're doing one thing. Okay? I just want to warn you. We're going to help you up because your blood pressure absolutely, definitely changed over 2.5 hours. So I'm going to show you how to get people off the table really easily, really quickly. If we do the marathon and those people you know are dead tired after that run, they're depleted in oxygen, I'm going to help them up. I'm not going to stand back and let them stand up after they've been on my table. I'm not going to risk that. And I'll show you a quick, easy way to do it to get them up off the table. So everything that happens to them when they agree to get a massage from you is your responsibility. It's you, right? So you need to know how to be safe, and that goes for how you turn them on the table. You can't turn them where they face away from you, because if they start falling, you're going to have to jump over the table to get between them and the floor. It's your responsibility. But if they roll towards you and they start to fall, there you are. You can block them with your body, right? That's what you have to learn to do. That's the science of it, doing it correctly. How they experienced it, what you did correctly, is the art. And that can be totally different. In your book, you'll see, she says no cookie cutter massage. You need to know the basics before you can do that. Let me see your arm. I'm going to let you guys go because you need to go get your ID. Some of you need to sign up a little bit. How's that feel?
Good.
That's what we're going to do first. You don't have to take your clothes off. We're just going to do a little compressions. But I need to know where to put my thumb, right? Where to put my fingers. You're going to do that all over them, up and down the person on the table. Now, we are going to have to share each other because I want you to be able to touch as many body parts and people as I can. So every time we're doing something, you're going to switch partners unless I tell you not to. Because everybody's going to work on everybody. Now, if you have a problem and something comes up, bring it to the person first and try to resolve it between the two of you. If you don't think that's going to work, bring it to me. Don't be gossiping with everyone else in the class about that fellow student. Please, okay?
That's nice. That's the first massage I got in my whole life.
Ah! Whoops. Let me see your arm. So this is what we're going to do first. It's called compressions. And I went from your wrist extensors over to the brachioradialis muscle just to stay in the bellies. So I didn't do a straight line. Your body isn't built in a straight line, and you're not going to work in a straight line. Ooh, your skin is so dry, honey.
Oh, I've just come from.
We need to oil you up a little bit. Now, some medications will make your skin really dry. If you see that they're taking anything for thyroids, their skin's going to be dry. Diabetes makes skin really dry. Sometimes when we do the body wrap, it's like you had to put the oil on 3 times because it's right in. And other people know. The depth you use only comes from experience. Okay, you just do it. Massage is not something you can learn in a book. You can't watch a video. You have to touch them. You, stand up for me. Now, some of you may not believe in energy, that there's no such thing and blah, blah, blah. All right, hold your arm up like this for me. Either one. I'm going to use your anterior deltoid, so I'm going to try to push your hand down, okay? And I don't want you to let me, so just resist me, okay? See, I'm pushing hard, but you're able to hold your arm, right? Pretty easy? Okay. Okay, put your hand up. All right, now resist me. Resist me. Come on, give it all you've got. Give it all you've got. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. You can bring it back up. Sure you can. I'll put it back. Hold your hand up. Don't let me push it down. You feel the difference? Yeah. Energy, all right? I took it away and I put it back. And I'll do it to anyone in here if you want to feel what it feels like. We use this a lot. I can even tell if you're allergic to something, which one would be better or worse for you. Hold a pack of sugar in your hand. You'll be totally weak. Totally weak. All right, I'm going to try to push it down and in, so just resist me. Okay, see how strong you are? That was really good. Okay. Try to, come on, you can pick it up. Come on, you can pick it up. Sure you can. So where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
That's so cool.
There it is. It's back. That's cool. Yeah. So it is real. Okay, we're going to learn to play with it. We're going to learn to play with it. So when you come back tomorrow, please try to be registered in all the classes. If you still have a problem, let me know. The bookstore, you just take your schedule over there, or just ask them where the massage books are. It's MSS. Starts with MSS. Everything will be there. Okay, you might look around. In your manual, I say that you need about $100 miscellaneous fees. Probably not going to be that much, but that's for if you need to buy towels, if you need to buy shirts, towels, pants, whatever, and make copies. For some reason, they've really restricted my use of the copier here. So there may be some handouts that I want you to have, but you're going to have to do the handout. I'll send them to you. You'll have them in your computer, but if you want a hard copy, they're going to ask me to ask you to make your own hard copies.
What building do they have the student life or do the ID?
Building 46. This, gave you a map. This campus is a big circle. Drive all the way around to the back. It says admissions on the building. It's number 46. Broward admissions is downstairs. Health science admissions is upstairs. Registration is there. Financial aid, the cashier, the tape testing center. Right across the breezeway is the bookstore. Now, around to the back of the bookstore is the security office. That's where you have to go to get your ID cal for your car. Bring your student ID and your registration in there, and they'll give you a sticker for your car. The ID, the picture ID, walk around to the back side of the registration building. Bookstore, security. Application, admissions, around the back behind the elevator is the student life office. That's where they take your picture. That's where you get your student ID. And just kind of look around. I mean, it's a nice place. You can go in there and hang out. They got a little pool table.
How soon do you want us to have the books?
The books? You need the books. Like, soon.
Usually, actually, daily, we're going to have a break for lunch since we're going to be here
from
10 to 3.
Yeah, it's only 45 minutes. And I just want to warn you, there's nowhere in this whole area you can go and order lunch and get back here in 45 minutes. Now, Bella Roma knows all about us. You can call ahead of time. Lunch is usually 12:30 to 1:45. Tell them you want a pizza or whatever. You got to pick it up and bring it back here. You can't even go to our cafeteria and get back in 45 minutes. So I would recommend you bring your own food. That's the best thing to do. Or have it as a takeout. You just don't have time to go sit down and try to eat. Bellaroma's got good food. Their pizzas are really good. There's a Subway right up the street. I have 2 microwaves. Don't tell anybody. We're not supposed to have them. And you can do anything you want in here. Just don't leave any evidence, okay? Don't leave any evidence. No, yeah, you can. No candy wrappers laid, you know. Put it in the garbage and then take the bag out. Over there, right? I do have ice chests. I could get ice for you, so you want to bring something in that's cold. But there's this microwave, then I have another one. So I have 2 that you could heat something up. So if you want to bring it in and heat it up, you can. Okay? If you want food, it's got to be takeout. You can even take out from Publix. You know, call them ahead of time. They'll make a sub for you. They make good subs. The Subway's right there on the corner. They can do an over-the-phone order as well. McDonald's is right on the other side of the turnpike. There's a Wendy's right next to that. Just 45 minutes isn't a whole lot of time, but just the best thing to do is bring your food. That's on my recommendation. Okay. We do try to organize things that make it fun. Like when we do chair massage, we don't have any room to do it up here. We go down to Tiger Tail Lake Center. You guys ever been there? It's so nice. It's a big room with a ropes course and all these exciting things to do, and a little bay where you can use the windsurf or the canoe. They have a barbecue patio. We could set up a volleyball net if you want. But that's where I go because it's a big open room and we can set up the massage chairs in there. So I try to go down at least once a month just to make it fun. So we could go down and it's a study hall day. You can do the ropes course. You can climb the wall. You can lay out on the beach. You can't swim. There's no swimming. But you can go out on the canoe. You can do the little windsurfer thing. We could organize it where everybody brings a dish. They have a full kitchen there, stove, ice chest, refrigerator, barbecue grills. You can do cooking that you want, or pull our money and go somewhere, or bring your own stuff. It's kind of up to you. But we want to try to do that. Now this term you're going to do chair massage too, and side lying, mainly Swedish this term. And the next term is the more specific, like deep tissue and all that kind of stuff. All right. This term you're not going to really get into muscles as much because that's next term, but I fully expect you to be able to talk medically when you're in here. So we're going to learn the regions, we're going to learn the planes, we're going to talk about the body in the correct terminology. That's the hardest thing to do. Learn the language, everything else will fall into place. So if you've never had anatomy before, it's going to be kind of tough, okay? Medical terminology, there's no other way around it. You got to memorize it. I can't make it any easier and make it sugar-coated. You got to sit down and memorize it, right? Next term is muscles and bones and the nervous system, how it affects the muscles. This term we'll talk about neurons and neuroglias and all that kind of stuff. But next term it's proprioceptors, it's the sciatic nerve innervates the hamstrings, it's that kind of stuff.
What kind of supplies do you need, like binders?
Yeah, I said 2 o'clock, so I keep talking. In your manual, I want you to have a little, I don't know what you call them, but the little book bag things with the wheels.
Computer bags.
Whatever. I don't care where you get it. You can get a fancy one or a cheap one. I think Office Depot has this little $13 little crate thing on wheels. I just don't want to see you coming in here with this big heavy bag on your shoulder. Or a purse. This is the worst thing you could possibly do. And they're trying to learn to do massage. You don't want to hurt your shoulder when you're working, okay? So after a couple of weeks, if you still come in here with a book bag thrown across your back, I'm going to ask you to go home. Everybody else complied. Why do you think you're so special? You know, that shows me that you have issues, control issues. You need to deal with them. You need to be wearing comfortable clothes. Don't keep coming in here with the tight pants on and acting like, what is wrong? Why are you so mad? What do I do? Just because I like these. Okay, I like them at home. Like them at home, all right? Get those nails cut. Cut them. I'm going to have a standard sheet I'm going to give you, and these are things I'm going to look for. When I used to hire therapists, that's the first thing I looked at when they sat down in that chair across from me. And if they came in there with nails, thanks for stopping by, circular file. I'll give you the benefit of a doubt. Have you been working steadily? Oh yes, I'm working right down at this. With those nails, are you crazy? You're not coming in here, and you didn't know that? You're not that aware to know not to come in there with nails? Then I don't want to hire you. You might be a great therapist, but you have control issues. Let someone else deal with your control issues. I'm not dealing with them. I'm not dealing with them, okay? No strong perfume, please. No strong perfume. What else? Anybody got any questions? I don't care about notebooks. You can, whatever you want to get, it doesn't really matter. Binders, whatever. I just want everything in something that you can pull and not carry on your shoulder, please, okay?
So I'm riding a bike to the bus stop and taking the bus. So I hope I don't have control issues, but it'll be that might be a bit of an issue for
Isn't there one that have straps?
that I can put on.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll look at that online. But then I'm still pregnant.
Well, then leave your things here.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah.
are they lockers or anything?
These rooms are locked. This room is locked and the lab downstairs is locked. We've got some expensive stuff in there. I've had people steal tables, massage tables. I've had people steal chairs. I keep it locked. How brave is that, to walk out with a massage table?
Oh, no, they can be very good sometimes. I mean, I have a friend who carries hers around.
No, we don't have cameras. I guess we should, but...
She carries hers around because it folds up. It's basically like a suitcase. So, I mean, it really isn't that conspicuous if you consider someone could just go around like that with, it has the handle.
It does. You look like you're supposed to be there. You look like you should be doing it, then okay. Nobody stopped and asked them, I guess, but yeah, they did.
So you want us to have them by tomorrow or by the end?
By the end of the week, please, because you need to start doing your lessons, because there's a lot of reading you have to do, and I want you to keep up. It's easier if you keep up. You fall behind, it's going to be hard to come back up to where everybody else is.
Are we bringing them to class every day?
When we're doing it in the classroom, yeah. And I'm serious, if you want to leave them here, you can. If you want to bring all your stuff, but then that tells me you're not studying. No, take your books home. Yeah.
Are hoodies okay to wear?
I'm sorry, what?
Are hoodies okay to wear at like loose jackets?
If you want. Are you cold?
Yeah.
Okay. They have to be up past your elbow because you're going to be working up to your elbow.
Okay.
So.
You can pull it up then.
Yeah. Ladies, you have to tie your hair back. When you're working, you can't let your hair fall in your face or touch the person. So you're going to have to get rubber bands or whatever, but it has to be tied up. Okay. If you sweat like I do, you need to get a headband. Sports Authority have them in terry cloth with a little Velcro. They're adjustable. So nothing would ruin a massage more than a big cold drop of sweat hitting them on the back, right? That kind of wakes them up a little bit. They don't like that. So you could do like some people I see every 3 minutes they're stopping and wiping with their towel. That's totally interrupting the flow of their massage, right? That nobody wants that either. Okay.
Are we gonna have some more, or like, is there anything?
You have reading to do. You're going to have quizzes every week. I just want to see where you're at. You don't get a grade for the quiz, but you have to do the quiz. If you miss it, it's going to be in the Learning Resource Center. You go over there, you sign in, you take it, I'll go pick it up. But you're not going to be allowed to take your midterm. You won't be allowed to take your final if you haven't done the quizzes. Right. I mean, you might be able to do it after class in here. I'm not going to stop the whole class and make everybody wait to bring you up to speed or to find out where you are. You need to do that. And believe me, no one's going to want to work with you if you're always looking around. What are we doing? Who wants to be your partner? Right? So you got to call me and let me know. I need help. You're adults. I'm not going to come to you and say, I've noticed that your quizzes have been, you were kind of struggling with this. Can you and I work together? You're not going to be a therapist? Great. That's less competition for me. Thanks for coming. Sharing your time. It's great. Hang out with us. It's great. you're the one who has to decide if I want to do this. And if you want to do it with me, you're going to be gold standard therapist, okay?
This program is going to take a lot more time, like outside of class time. So it's best to just work part-time.
I always recommend you just work part-time. I know some people, it's not a choice they have. But let me tell you, if you have family members over the next, and I'm not even asking a year of your time. It's what, 9 months? That's all you got to do is commit 9 months. Let someone else make dinner. Let somebody else make dinner. If you're cleaning the house, you can be listening to a podcast, right? You could make a tape and do your earbud thing. You could make that time study time. Combine them. It's the only way it's going to work. You can't say, oh, Thursday for 2 hours I'm going to sit down and study. Because what happens? Everything happens, right? And that's the quickest way for me to fall asleep. I know I'm going to sit down for 2 hours, and the minute I'm asleep. When you're driving, you can listen to something in your house, make little 3x5 cards, paper, with information on it. The best place is under the remote for the TV. You got to do something, medical terms, to move the remote, right? Make study buddies, group together. I always do better if someone's asking me the questions than just myself. Make study groups, okay? Even if you can't get together in person, you can call each other. I had a great study buddy, but we never could get together, so we just called each other. You know, I'd be at work and she'd call me and ask me some off-the-wall question and hang up. And I'd have to go, because it would bother me, I'd have to go look it up and find it, and I'd give it back to her. And many times I have woken up sitting in my chair with the phone hanging down here, because I fell asleep when we were talking. But that's how you have to do it. You got to bring it into your day-to-day life. You do. Now, if you work in a gym, that's perfect. You're around bodies all day, you're looking at muscles, right? It's perfect. But most of us aren't. So what we have to do is make sure that we study. Now, if you've got kids, they would be in seventh heaven if they get to question you like you do to them. They would be so strict with you about your homework, trust me. They're the best. And then they're going to learn something too, right? Because they're questioning you. But say, you're going to be in charge of my homework. They'll love it, right? If you got a significant other, he's going to have to kind of, or she's going to have to kind of help take up the slack. Just for a couple of months, that's all I ask. Just for a couple of months. So, go out and still have fun, but not every week, because you really don't have the time. You really don't. It would be best if you could only work part-time. So if you have the choice, if you're able to do that, then do it. Now, if you do need to work and you don't have a job that you've been at for a long time, I would recommend that you get your security guard license and you do security guard work while you're here. Totally adjustable, flexible hours. They're 24/7. You can work any shift you want. You don't have to be doing something dangerous. The guys here, it ain't dangerous, right? They drive around on golf carts. They help people who's run out of gas. They lock doors. When you're not doing anything, you can be studying. They don't mind. My son went to college and he was a security guard at one of these gated communities. And whenever he wasn't letting somebody through the gate, he was studying. He was studying. You wear a uniform so you don't have to worry about clothes, right, when you do it. And we're always needing guards. We have 6, 7 campuses now. They're always needing people right here. If I would like to have the guard job at the Marriott. Those guys, oh my God, what a cushy job they had. They sit in their office with like 20 cameras. They're seeing every little part of the hotel. And they only go out unless somebody calls them, and maybe once an hour to do their rounds. They're in there eating pizza. They're playing poker. They're watching the monitor. You could study a lot there. There are private schools that teach that. The cheapest place would be to go to Miami-Dade and take their class. They have a little weekend class you can do. And then recruiters are all over the place to get you to come to work for them. So the recession will never affect security. People have to have security. You might get laid off at a company, but if you're the security guard, they're not going to lay you off. They can't, right? They can't. So there's security. I would do that. Don't try to be a waiter or a waitress. It's too hard to work. Bartending, it's too hard. It's really, really hard work. So please don't do that while you're in here, okay? You can always go to work somewhere like at a hotel, be a front desk. And then if you want to go into the spa, they always hire from within first. And you already know, you've already been through the HR orientation thing. You already know how the hotel works. You just go into the spa when there's an opening. So you could do that. A fun job at the Marriott is they have people that work with the kids. They put little, bounce houses up and they do things in the pool with the kids. How easy is that? They eat cookies all the time with the kids. You just wear a t-shirt, the clothes they give you, so you don't have to buy clothes. Hand out towels at the pool. It's easy stuff. But then you're an employee. You just move into the spa when it comes open, right? So don't pick a hard job. You already got one. You got a family. You have responsibilities. You have to work. That means when you're driving, you're studying. You're listening. You're sitting on the sofa. You're watching, and I'm going to learn this word, like Reader's Digest, a word a week. Each system, the terminology that goes with the systems and the path. Learn those words. Pick one or two. Learn one or two. But don't think Friday night or Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to sit down for 4 hours and I'm going to learn this. That's not how it works. You take little bites and you'll get it, right? And if you think you're struggling, look around. This person, she gets A's every time. I'm going to go ask her if I can study with her. She's doing something right. Maybe it'll rub off on me. I need some help. I need some help here. There are mentors too in the Learning Resource Center for the anatomy. You can sign up. I think they even do it online, don't they? Get a mentor and you can study with somebody online.
At least for the online classes, yes.
You don't have to go over there. And you can do that on any campus. Every campus. I think Central's probably got the nicest one. Little models and stuff. But do the anatomy. You need help, then go out there and you can get it, okay? It's just too much information. If you think the 5 hours we're together is all you need to do, you go home and you forget about us till the next day you come back and you think about us again, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not really going to learn it, right? And do I need a table and a body to practice? No. It would be nice, but this is an archer. I can do this standing in line at Publix. They may look at you funny, but it's okay. You're going to learn to push off your back leg. So you can do that in Publix, right? You don't need a table. Effleurage is gliding strokes. I don't need a body to practice that. The thing I'm doing is I'm practicing with a straight back, with my head up, and my elbows at my side. I can do that in the air to get the technique down right. I wouldn't need a body for pet, but I can just practice, right? And some things it's where you touch and how you touch, and you don't need a body to do that. I can work on my leg and do my facial routine. I can do it. That's how you're going to be good, okay? Little bits all the time, little bits. You're going to have to be as good with your left hand as you are with your right hand, because you're going to have to stand on either side of the table. So my recommendation when you go home is start reaching in the drawer with your left hand. Taking the cap off with your left hand. The cartons for the 12-pack Coke, open it with your left hand. Right? Get really good to where you can use a can opener with your left hand. But you have to start practicing that. You have to start practicing, okay? You have to be balanced. Now, ladies, we are really weak in the upper body. We just are. But we need to be strong. If you go to a gym, go to a gym. We have a gym here. It's free.
Really?
They just remodeled it. It's beautiful. It's free.
Where is it?
If you go behind the library, you just walk past the library, right behind it, that big round building, it's kind of hard to miss that big round building. But right in front of it, all of that is where the gym is, right? That's for the gym. Central Campus has an Olympic-sized pool. They got a pool, right? That's for students. You can go. Or at home in the kitchen when you're cooking, before you open that can, juggle that can, do some pull-up, use the weight in the hand, right? Throw it from one hand to the other, so this hand starts getting a little more coordination. passing it back and forth. And just put that into your daily life. So your daily life has to change. You have to incorporate what you need to do in here. Remember, it's a physical art form. If I were a dancer and I didn't practice, I would look terrible up on that stage and I would get kicked off the chorus line really quick because I didn't practice. How many hours did they practice for that 1 2 hour show? Yeah, they're on the stage all day to do those 2 little hours, right? And that's what you have to do too. It's a long time. If you have weights, use them, but you have to build up your hands as well. This is called the adductor pollicis muscle right there. That needs to be very thick and very strong. That's what's going to support your thumb. So we're going to have to do things to build up the strength of our hands too. Okay. So feel of mine. Feel right there. There's nothing there.
Oh, wow.
I had buckets with water in them, and I did lift-ups with my thumb, not using my fingers, just to build up that muscle. That's what you have to do. You know, you have to build it up. Because if you don't, let me feel yours first. Yours could be stronger. Feel mine. Okay.
It is.
It is. And you're going to learn to hold it in a special way because you don't want to injure your thumb. When you do massage, you have to have the right body mechanics. What we call it's body mechanics. I can use my thumb all day if I do it right. If I don't, I'm going to injure that joint and I won't be able to use my thumb for probably 6 weeks because I've hurt it, right? You see people on YouTube doing like this with their hands. Do not do that. That thumb has to be close to your palm or supported, either way. You can't work with your hands like this. Well, you won't work for long. Let's put it that way. Okay.
What about if you have a sweaty palm?
Oh, good question. Good question. If deodorant works on your underarms to keep them from perspiring, they'll work on your hands. Get the unscented. Use the unscented, not the antiperspirant. You can't get just. We need it to stop sweating. So the antiperspirant. I like Mitchum. Mitchum, my hands sweat sometimes too. Mitchum works really good. And they're unscented, really and truly is unscented. It doesn't smell at all. So you're going to put a little bit on your hands, right? And then there's some exercises. I'm going to show you some energy exercises that's going to help correct that problem, right? But that is a problem, you know, but there's a solution for it, okay? People with sweaty feet, you may not want to touch them directly, and you don't have to. Wrap that foot in the sheet. You don't have to touch it directly. Or put gloves on, either one. It's your choice, right? But, yeah. And some people, they sweat in the face, too, like I do. Usually it's only when I'm working, but some people, it's just as soon as I get nervous. What was that comedy show with not Mel Brooks, what's the other guy? His son. And he was trying to get to be a newscaster, and they finally let him sit up there and be a newscaster because he was so nervous. Sweat was just pouring off his face, and his shirt was soaking wet by the end of his little 10-minute talk. And he was trying to act like he wasn't really sweating bad. You know, it was hilarious. And the other guy that does the Silent Bob and Jay and Silent Bob, what's his name? Smith, something Smith? Kevin Smith. He sweats all the time. If you see him do an interview, he's sitting there talking. He's constantly kind of behind. He sweats the whole time he's talking. And he's got a little hand towel he keeps there. And he wipes his face down several times as he's talking. Just nervous. You know. Can't help it. But yeah, that's a problem. But it's not insurmountable. Okay. Not having muscle strength, you got to build it up. There's no way around that. You need the muscle strength. Okay. And you need to move a certain way so you don't hurt yourself. I've been doing this since '93, and here I stand. I know people who were gone in like 4 years. They were done. They hurt their back, they hurt their hands, they were done. Right? Anybody in here double jointed? I'm going to ask this question.
My shoulder, I think.
Oh, 4 of you? It's really hard. I'm going to warn you right now, we need to help you because it's hard to put pressure on the joint when there's not the ligament strength, and that's what double jointed means. You go past neutral. Yeah, so we'll have to work around that. Some things that we do, you really shouldn't do. I hope she comes in. A very good friend of mine had the same problem, and because she had been doing massages at other places, she thought she knew more than me. And she kept using her hands the same old way. I kept trying to tell her, you got to change how you use your hands. Well, I just heard from her. She's had 4 operations. She's not working. Her hands are ruined. Because once it's a ligament problem, I mean, there's really not much you can do about a ligament problem, right? And it only takes that one pop time, and you're sunk. You're sunk. So you have to be careful. And it's just a matter of how you use your hands. There's like 20 different ways to do every stroke. So you don't have to use your thumb for everything. And other people can do it one way, but you do it another. It's okay. It's okay. And you avoid the problems you know are going to hurt you. You're going to have to learn to use your hands right anyway, because we're very prone to a condition called carpal tunnel syndrome. That's because we put pressure on the wrist, and the wrist wasn't straight. We were putting pressure with the wrist like this, right? And not like that. It's a compression joint. It's designed to be pushed on, but only if it's straight. So I'm not going to see you. I'm doing a massage, and here's my hands, and like that. Never, okay? Even if I'm doing work over here and I put my hand on the table and it's like that, no, 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 no. Make a fist. If I have to use my palm, I'm going to get close so my wrists are flat. So there's certain things you're going to do to protect yourself. That's the most important thing for me in the beginning, is to make sure you move properly, you build up your strength the way you should, and you use your hands right. Okay? So if I stand right, my body weight's going to be centered, and it doesn't matter your body type, how big or strong or wide or short you are. You have a center of gravity, and you work from that. You work from that, okay? And if you do feel that your hands are tired and they hurt, you're going to go buy a splint at the drugstore, and you're going to wear it every night for 6 weeks. It takes 6 weeks to heal. You might feel great in 3 days, but it takes 6 weeks to heal. You need to rest it. You'd be surprised what you do to your hands when you're sleeping. Right? You do. You need to keep them straight. Give them a chance to heal. Okay?
That is so true.
It is. That's where you hurt them the most. A carpal tunnel is the ligament that goes across here. The flexor retinaculum makes a very, very narrow hole for everything to get through to go into the hand. And the minute you start doing this, you cut off the ability for the blood to flow through there. You overuse it, it starts building up inflammation. And your body's going to start laying down collagen fibers. It's like scar tissue. And it makes that hole narrower and narrower. Okay? If it gets to the point where it's built up inside there, the only option you have is surgery. It's the only option. They've got to cut it open. But there's no guarantee how it's going to heal. It could make it better. It could make it worse, right? But you don't have a choice. So we're going to try to get to it before it gets to that point. Before it gets to that point, okay? Any other questions? Read your manual tonight. Please bring it back with you tomorrow. Get your books as soon, if you can, go over and get your books now. Get your student ID, because you need that. Look around the campus. You got a map. Maybe if you've never walked around and seen where everything is, you walk around. Find the gym. You've never seen the gym, find it. It's actually there. Go in and look, right? I wish we had a pool here. We don't have a pool. Wish we had a pool. Yeah. We have tennis courts, if you like to play tennis. Go into the library and look where the Learning Resource Center is. Kind of look around there. You can even go in and look at the videos that we've got in there if you want. But so we're going to just hit the floor running, so I hope you're ready.